If you go onto the forums for TurtleWoW, it's literally just like TurtleWoW HD patch, right? Literally just that. But okay, I'm immediately seeing a difference with my high elf here, and like everything, right? Oh man, my mage looks a lot better. Oh hey, my dwarf, right? Oh, it looks nicer. Hold up, let me take a look. Now, as far as I know, there's a little graphical issue with some things, but minor. Enough to deal with. Oh boy, the goblin females don't look like nightmare fuel anymore. Huh. The male goblins look a lot more realistic too. I know, realistic goblins, but still, you know what I mean. Oh, there we go. The gnome is still horrifying, but it looks a little more detailed. Okay. Take a look at the... Ooh, I actually like the look of the troll now. Like, hey, I might make a troll. I don't know, yeah, looks nicer. Like, it's not like a huge difference. I mean, things are more or less the same. It's just there's it feels like there's a greater depth of complexity to the models and the animations too. Like the models and animations seem a little more, yeah, like a little more complex. But mainly what I'm noticing is things look a little less cartoony, you know? Like, oh, hold up, human, here we go. Yeah, the human looks like, hold up, what's the one with the big boots? This one. The boots are still way too big, but they're much more realistic. Yeah, honestly, human doesn't look... Like, okay, before, human looked kinda derpy, if you will, right? Like, the human character model looked almost like it was... It looked like it was more low poly and simple than the other character models, even. So yeah, yeah, I would say everything definitely looks much better now. That said, it's still got, like, you can still clearly see the stylization, right? Like, everything is still very stylized, it's very... You know, it's got that style to it, right? But it looks a little bit more realistic, a little bit more balanced, like more. I think the main thing is more detail. Everything looks much more detailed, and the proportions are better. I want to say, like, proportions are still very stylized. Like, yeah, right, but they're more stylized, but in a way that kind of fits better overall. So I gotta say I'm liking this, but it's not just a visual change that we're doing here. All right, this pack. It's not just visuals. So let's hop on in and actually play a little. Trying to think. I mean, my paladin is what I was playing, but paladin doesn't really have a whole lot of active abilities, right? Hopping on my mage might be better to kind of get a feel for the spell effects and stuff like that, to, you know, to see what's changed around some. I mean, I don't know, the paladin would be good for that too. I don't know, let's since I've been playing the paladin, let's stick to it, right? But okay, everything should not just look, but should sound a little better. Things, animations changed as well. All right, we're back in the old Lion Pride Inn. Gotta load everyone. I assume because there's more complexity to the models now, that having a ton of characters on screen is probably longer to load. But yeah, I'm immediately noticing a lot more detail on everything, like the environment, right? Quite a bit of detail. My character animates, like, I'm noticing the animations are different, like the running and like, again, it's not just textures and models, the animations are a little improved. And I'm looking at other people's characters too, and yeah, there is overall more detail now. Yeah, I'm testing out the HD patches. So far I am much more into the visuals of the game than I was before. Like, it's still very stylized, it's still very iconically World of Warcraft, right? But yeah, it looks, there's just a greater level of both detail, complexity, and also just a slight bit of realism thrown in there. The proportions don't stand out as badly to me anymore, right? So I don't hate the look of the game nearly as much as I did before. I think I might be able to play a non-high elf character like this. Though my high elf looks pretty good, so I mean, everything looks great now. Environment looks nice too. And yeah, Red Bear, the Turtle HD project. There's like an A, B, and C patch. There's 3 different patches. They say what each one does, so you can kind of install only the ones you want to change. I got all of them. I got the complete overhaul. But yeah, let me try out my spells and stuff. Like, I don't really have many I can just do, but a heal spell. Ooh. Hold up, I want to see it and hear it. Ooh. Okay, so I'm immediately noticing the casting animations are mostly the same, but not quite. Like, they're a little better, and also the sound effects. The sound effects are much nicer. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, okay, this is a problem, right? It's why I couldn't get into my mage, right? The spells in the game, they felt like they were very floaty. Like, the attack and animations and everything, too. Everything felt really weightless, right? Like, there wasn't much kick to anything you do. And with a mage especially, you gotta, you throw a fireball, you wanna hear that fireball impact and explode, right? You want those nice animations and special effects, right? So I think this might actually solve a lot of my issues with the game. Ooh, Alt-Z, well, let's try it. I mean, yeah, there you go, no interface, which is nice. I've never seen Alt-Z used for that before. Yeah, I hear the music is different. Yeah, like the music, I kind of like the other music a little better because it reminded me of Guild Wars. It reminded me of pre-Searing Ascalon, right? That's what the Elwyn Forest tune reminded me of. But this is this is good too. It's good too. It's a little more thematic, I think. I need to like I need to experiment hitting something and seeing how combat animations and stuff. Also, what about this? Ooh. Like that, that had a nice sound to it, right? Like that's what I want with shooting out a blazing holy effect, right? Like, oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Like, this is what I want. Now, okay, real quick, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was having fun before. I enjoyed the game, and I thought it looked and sounded just fine. It's just there were certain issues I had that were preventing me from getting into it more, right? This is addressing those issues for me, so yeah. Alright, so the fighting animations and stuff should be a little different now, right? A little bit. I mean, I think I kill that too fast to really, to make a judgment call, you know? Yeah, yeah, I need that oomph. That's the only way I can describe it, right? Yeah, look, oh yeah, more oomph, more more impact to it. I like that. I think I need to. Okay, I've been playing my paladin, but I think I need to switch over to my mage that I kind of abandoned. I need to switch over to that, and I need to see how the mage spells look and sound different. I think I need to do that. Oh yeah, Red Bear, I guess just go south and I could fight more, but let's test out the mage real quick. My mage is only 2 levels higher than my paladin. Like, they're about the same level now. So yeah, let's test that out and see the difference, right? So let me go back in here and alright, let's just do a quick log out to character select. Let's try that mage out. I think my mage is in the same place even. But I am blown away so far by these changes. So okay, double us the mage. I haven't played this character in quite a long time. Alright, so let's see. So what have I got? Been a while, so I got my ward spells. Ooh, just a better sound there. I got my buffs. I don't think that one's too different. So that's get my mana back stuff. Spells though, offensive spells, that's what I want. So let's nuke this chicken with a, what's my big spell? Fireball. Okay, let's fireball it. Ooh, look at that, look at them hand wavings. Much better, much better. Like the things have a more impactful sound to them. I like that. And the ice spell? Yeah, I like that. It's not that much different, but it's just it's hard to describe. There's more depth to the sound, right? And the animations too. The animations are mostly the same, but just a little bit more fluid and smooth. Like it's not huge things, you know? It's not giant changes, but it's little things that really, ooh yeah, yeah. I like. Okay, I think I might actually be able to play my mage again now, because these sound effects, the better sound effects, the more impactful sound effects combined with the better animations, it makes Mage just feel more satisfying. So, man, I can actually... Oh man, I can be a mage again. So here's my thought. I mean, basically what this patch is doing, I mean, it's basically just forcing the game client to use the models and stuff from later on in retail, right? Like, that's basically what it's doing, is my understanding. But I mean, I gotta be honest, I guess I like the stuff that came later in terms of the look and sound and animation, right? I guess I like that better. It appeals to me more. Ooh, they changed Hearthstone casting. I mean, again, let me just try it out. Oh yeah. But I don't want to use it just yet, in case I want to play more on the mage. Ooh. So, yeah, it does it for me. It's doing it for me. I think the game was fine before, it's just... I don't know, it fits me better like this. So, man, I am very happy that I looked into the Turtle HD patches. I'm very happy that this has improved the quality of my game quite a bit. And actually, I'm thinking I might be able to expand beyond just high elf now. Like, the reason my characters were all high elves was because it was the only one that didn't look terrible to me. But I think I can just go with anything now. I mean, even Troll, right? Like, honestly, the Troll even looked okay. And, hey, that'd be a chance to try out Horde, right? Like, either a Troll or an Orc, I don't know, but I'm... Oh my god, that thing. But, I kind of want to play a Warlock at some point, right? Warlock looks interesting. I like a good summoner type of character. And, yeah, you know, High Elves can't do that, so... I could go Human, or Troll, or Orc, right? I think they can all be Warlock. But for now, I don't know. For now, I guess I want to play around a little bit. I kind of want to just explore some and see what all's different. I guess the question is, do I want to do that on my Mage or my Paladin? Oh no, Gnome! Gnome! I don't know, so here's the thing, I like my Mage here. I am a fan of a good wizard, right? I'm always a fan of that kind of thing. However, Mage is just DPS class here, and I like that the Paladin can tank and heal and whatever, right? I enjoy that. So I guess I might want to switch back on over to that. I mean, I don't know, what dungeons can I do? I can actually do the Stockade as my Mage, right? Like, because I'm just a DPS, so I can do the Stockade. I mean, if I can get into a group for it, I guess. But look at this. You can see in the group finder, like, oh, look at all these DPS looking for a group. And there's just the one healer for that, right? So clearly, DPS is a little too common, I guess. But yeah, it's orange. I don't know. I think let's switch back over to the Paladin. If I want to do group stuff, that would be the way to do it. So back to the Paladin, although I am much more happy with the look and feel of my Mage now. I might actually play it some more. Alright, so back to Paladin. I know that we kind of just, like, we've just been gushing about the look and sound of everything so far, but, like, man, that is... Like, these patches were such a change, right? Like, huge change, yet minimal change. I mean, everything is basically the same, just nicer now. Also, that's a big cock! Look at that, it's magnificent! Look at that chicken! And they have another chicken following behind them! Like, hold up. Where'd they go? Yeah. Look at that. Ooh, let's see. In WC, that WC is... I'm trying to think what that means. I'm trying to think the meanings. I can't abbreviation. But let me queue up for oh, I guess that's the Wailing Caverns. I don't even know where that is. Where is the Wailing Caverns? Like, I literally don't know where that one... I have no idea on that one. Like, I know that, okay, the Stockade, that's in... Which I wouldn't queue up for the Stockade as a tank. Not like this. Probably not as a healer either. Oh no, we've got acrylic letters. Uh-oh. Oh man, patches on top of the HD. God, patches on patches. I don't know, maybe later. Maybe later. For now, I'm kind of blown away. I am very happy with things right now. But, let's see, I'm trying to think. Like, Shadowfang Keep, I'm like, God, where's that? I only know where the Dead Mines and the Stockade is. Now, I would assume the Wailing Caverns, that's like a... Because I know this, like, it shows all dungeons, not just... Okay, no, it also, yeah, like, Ragefire Chasm, I know that one is, like... That's one that Horde can get to easily, but I cannot, right? It's kind of... Like, I can get to the Stockade easy, but I don't think Horde can get into Stormwind. Or, not easily, anyway. So, yeah, okay, so I have no idea where the Wailing Caverns is. I generally don't want to queue up for something if I don't know where it is. That's probably a bad idea. Probably bad idea. Okay, let's see, so in the Barrens, which, let me see, the Barrens, that's on the other continent, right? Oh yeah, here. So the Barrens. So it's somewhere here. I guess the question would be, how does one enter the Barrens? I know that I can take that one boat from Stormwind, and I think that boat goes over here to Darkshire, right? And I guess I'd have to go down through here, I think? Ratchet. Let's see. That would be... Is that in Triangle? That's... okay. Or no, wait, Ratchet is... It's on this side still. Right? Somewhere? Yeah, Ratchet, okay. Because I know there's a... Let's see. There may or may not be a boat somewhere up around here. But I know there's like a boat somewhere around here. Because there's another one down there somewhere. I don't know. I think I should stick to what I know for now, right? Stick to what I know. And I do still have a lot of quests, right? I want to do group stuff, but also, I mean, yeah, I got quests, so... Alright, I did level up once, and a lot of the Duskwood quests are just yellow to me now, so I should be able to do them, right? I think this one, yeah, this one wants me to go back to Darkshire. I think this one is for skeletons in the cemetery, right? Let's see, go into Tranquil Gardens just south of Darkshire. Okay, well that sounds easy. So I got 2 quests around Darkshire. And then speak with Chef Gruel. Where is that at? Darkshire. Okay, so I have 3 quests, at least 3, that want to take me into Darkshire. And also, I gotta find Sven's farm. But, yeah, I can do all that. Oh, wait. It's good for paladins. Wait a second. I don't think I have the undead killing spell. I think I ran out of money for that. Let me see if I can sell some things. I just realized it. I don't have that spell. Alright, I mean, I don't need so much wolf kebab, right? I don't need that much. So I can sell that down. I can craft up some heavy wool bandages. Alright. I've been trying to get the rest of my spells, but they're very expensive. I got most of them, but yeah, I still don't have Seal of the Crusader, right? The next rank. I don't use that, so I figured, okay, we can skip it for now. But Exorcism. Yeah, here we go. 86 to 99 holy damage to undead or demons. See, I didn't get that spell because I haven't been fighting any undead, right? Well, okay. Now's my time to shine. Alright, so let's see, that'd be under holy, right? Exorcism. I guess I'll just slap it down here. And that's a pretty active spell. I'm just thinking if I could take something, move something around a little bit. let's... So let's put it first, right? It's my anti-undead. Okay. Just moving everything over one. Oh yeah, it's instant cast. Instant cast 86 to 99 holy damage. Yeah, that sounds very good. Let's see, this is 5 holy damage to any creature that strikes a party member, which would be me, as that would help me to do damage better. This would help me to not die, but I guess when I'm solo, that shouldn't be as much of a problem. Shouldn't be. Then the only thing is, I need to get to Darkshire. If I get some cheese, I can take the griffin. Oh yeah, it's got a 30-yard range. Now, okay, I would assume you can only cast this on undead, right? Or like, does it let you just use it even if the target isn't undead? Like, it probably wouldn't do anything, but I mean, could I just pull with it?
What can I help you?
I wonder. I feel like that'd be too good. That would not too good, but it would be too convenient. This isn't a game of convenience. It's not that kind of game. It's not as bad as certain other ones we play, but I don't think this game has convenience in mind that much. Alright, so get a little dwarven mild so I can take the griffin out for a spin. I can afford the cheese, the dwarven mild. I love this griffin right here. I absolutely love it. Alright, feed it the cheese. Wait, before I do that, yeah, can I just do a quick field test? Like, can I exercise this chicken? No, I cannot. Alright. So you can only use that on undead enemies. Only. That is unfortunate, but it's fine. It's okay. I just had a thought. I mean, yeah, I want to go to Darkshire, but I do have the griffin. I have the griffin for that. So I'm wondering if I maybe want to, like, check out Stormwind and just see how it... I'm kind of curious how that'll look and also load with all the, you know, the patches, right? I don't have a lot of silver on me, but I think I can take a griffin from Stormwind. So yeah, let's check that out real quick. Just have a quick look. Also, I always liked the look of the weather effects in this, but even nicer now. Alright, so I'm not noticing, like, God, there's a lot of people here. I'm not noticing a huge difference in the look and feel of the city here. I just noticed, like, okay, looking at the textures, there is a lot more detail on the streets and everything now. Oh man, this is it's a lot going on here. God, there's too many people on this server. Just look at this sea of players. Alright. I feel like the water looks nicer. I feel like this water fountain looks nicer than it did before. I mean, maybe not, but it feels nicer. It's definitely a little laggier though. Like, I mean, look, my PC is fine. It's old, but it's fine. But like, I am feeling it a little more now. Now that things are actually nice looking, right? What is that, a bear? I guess that's a druid, huh? Also, my god, that model, right? That model. I could just sit around and like look at all of the players going about their business. It's kind of awe-inspiring as someone who is used to playing on much less populated, you know, private servers for other games. Like, I couldn't even imagine, like, imagine if Juno in FF11 had this many players in such a tight space, right? I think that would just crash the zone, to be honest. Huh. A snowman. They've just got a weird glow on them. I like the... So I think they've got like a texture on them, right? Like they have I think they have like one of the donation textures on, but it looks good. Looks good. I see. They do not require pants. I see. But yeah, like God, everything looks nicer. Everything looks and sounds so much nicer. My immersion is at least 40% higher. Yeah, the other server, when I logged in, the other server had under 500 players on it. Well, they added other server too. They added the Chinese server for those players, right? To kind of unload some of them off of the main servers. But the PvP server, it doesn't... I mean, honestly, the PvP server doesn't seem very popular. Like, it has its niche. I mean, clearly there's like 500 people on it, but, you know, it does not seem nearly as popular as the main server. I think they just need to give in and make another, you know, just a clone PvE server. I think that's what people want. Ah, I didn't know. You get the info. I mean, I saw it when I logged in, and oof, it's a lot. So hey, this is different music, right? Like this right here, right now. This is a different music for the city. The old one was still there, but this is a different one. Alright, well, I am impressed by the look of Stormwind now, and also all the players, like everybody looking fantastic now. And yeah, I mean, hardcore is super popular on this server. I see hardcore players dying all the time, so maybe a hardcore server? I don't know. It's still kind of crazy to me that hardcore mode is such a popular thing in a lot of these classic MMOs, right? Whether they're private or retail, the idea of playing hardcore where you get deleted or... Well, FF11 doesn't do that. Like in FF11 on Horizon, they don't delete your character when you die hardcore. You just lose hardcore status, right? But that type of thing, it's it kind of blows me away just how popular it is. Man. There's memes happening, I think. Alright, do I have enough money to go to Darkshire? I do. Let's do it. Quest in time. Like, see, here's the thing, I made a, like, look, in FF11, I made a hardcore character, but that's just because you don't get deleted when you die, right? You just lose the challenge. But I don't think I could do hardcore in this game. I don't think that's for me. But I think that's also because, like, I mean, you know, I'm about as noob as you can get when it comes to World of Warcraft, right? Like, I literally never played the game before TurtleWoW. So, like, I know so little about the game that just getting a character to the end is kinda... like, that's hard enough for me, right? But I'm guessing for people who maybe grew up with the World of Warcraft and they know the game in and out, I could see it being something to spice things up a little bit, right? I guess I can get that. It's just I'm nowhere near there. Man, everything feels so goddamn atmospheric now. And yeah, again, I understand it even if I'm not in that place, right? I can get it. I mean, look, there's a lot of games that I play, right? Like, let's take single-player games, for instance. I mean, like XCOM, which we gotta get back to. You know, like, old-school XCOM, I know the game in and out, for the most part. Like, I've beaten it a couple times, and, you know, it's great, but, like, you know, the only way I can play the game now is heavily modified with these total overhaul mods, right? Like the XCOM files. And that's because I know the original game so well, I kinda need something to spice it up, right? And I understand needing to go above and beyond to make the game fresh for yourself again. I get it, but it's one of those things where I think you gotta... There's like a path of progression, right? You have to hit a certain point before you get to that level. And until you're on that level, it's hard to even comprehend it, you know? Alright, so I got quest. Man, I am literally, like, everywhere I go right now, I'm literally just kind of paying extra attention to all of the NPCs and the environments, and I'm really just noticing how much more detail is in the world. I love it.
You need something?
Alright, let's see. So, supplies from Darkshire. Oh boy, there's a bunch of other quests I could take. Okay, so ghost hair thread is what I need. Oh, they have none, but they can make some. I need ghost hair. So I need to bring a spectral comb. So, wait. Okay, so I gotta go to Blind Mary, who haunts an old farmhouse in the hills south of the... Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, like, okay, so, like, if you look at this NPC's face, this NPC's face, right? It's still a little low res and everything, because, I mean, that's just the game style, but, like, you just kind of look at it generally, and there is so much more detail in that face than the human faces before, right? Like, on player characters, you see it a little better, but even with this model, you can see that there's just more detail on the face, you know? But I think humans had it the worst. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the default vanilla human character models, like, they, like, even compared to some of the other vanilla character models, they looked really low poly, low red, like they looked lower detail than even the other models, and that was bothering me. It's why I couldn't go human, right, to be a warlock. Like, I couldn't go so low res, or just so low detail. But yeah, it's much better now.
Greetings.
And I'm not, like, okay, let me say this right now. I'm no graphic snob. I don't care if a game, like, I don't need, like, obviously I don't need cutting edge graphics or anything like that. I really don't. I can play games that are little more than text-based adventures in DOS, right? That's not really the issue. The issue is the game felt almost inconsistent in the visuals and everything before. Right? Like, I think that's worse than, you know, having, like, bad or subpar graphics or whatever. What's worse is to have inconsistencies. Inconsistencies can take you right out of the game. You know, if you're otherwise trying to be immersed, they take you right out of it. And things felt very inconsistent before. So yeah, these patches definitely rectify that. Alright, so let's see. What are these other quests I got? Huh. So I gotta talk to the clerk. So, okay, they're right here. I can do that. And there's another quest. Oh boy! Bring 10 ghoul fangs, 10 skeleton fingers, 5 vials of spider venom. So, alright. I assume I can get all of this, like, around town, you know, close to town, right? I assume. And I'll get a Totem of Infliction. So it's held, okay, so it's a held item. It's held in the offhand, gives 50 armor. When struck in combat, has a 1% chance of inflicting 75 to 125 shadow damage. I mean, that's neat. I don't think I'd really get a lot of use out of that, because, you know, I'm a paladin, so I would want to use a shield, right? Does it look cool? I kind of like the look, right? It's like you're just holding a little skull. I kind of like that. Okay, you know what? I'll do it for the appearance alone.
Safe travels.
I like the idea of being a paladin who's just carrying around a horned skull. Alright, so I gotta talk to some NPCs here, and then I guess go out and kill things. Oh hey, a winter okay, what is this winter reveler?
You need something?
Huh.
See you around.
I'm not sure what they're about. I assume winter event stuff, right? I assume. Okay, this is innkeeper. Okay, I'm looking for this guy right here.
Greetings.
Alright, so need some crab cakes. Alright, gather 6 gooey spider legs. Ooh, I learned a recipe. Gooey spider cake. Okay. It's nothing special, but I'll take it. Yeah, I gotta look into what the winter event stuff here. Oh my god, I just had a realization. Unrelated to this, but, because, you know, like FF11, like with Horizon, they're warming up for the winter stuff, right? Here you got winter events. City of Heroes, oh my god, I just remembered. City of Heroes always has like there's always like a Christmas event where, you know, it snows in the city, and there's like snowmen monsters you gotta fight and presents to open up. Oh my god. I gotta get in on that. But anyway, we'll have to City of Heroes again sometime. Okay, so other NPC. Alright, so what does this guy want? Well, he wants a favor. So go to the Moonbrook Schoolhouse, bring back any updated information. Okay. Wait, Moonbrook. Wait, Moonbrook, that's back in... That's back in, like... in Westfall, right? Yeah, that's in Westfall. Oh my god, that is quite a diversion right there. Like, that is quite out of the way. I mean, I'm kind of skimming it, but this game really likes to throw a lot of text at you and lots of fetch quests, so...
Well met.
Alright, what's this one? Crime and Punishment. Let's see. There's neglect of the residents going on. Okay, let's see. Ward was caught selling bodies from the cemetery to Morbant Fell. Alright. So I need to assassinate Ward in the Stormwind stockade. Okay, so this is a quest for the Stockades dungeon, I would assume.
Be careful.
Yeah, that's a dungeon quest, and one I can't really do just yet. Also, hold up, I keep seeing, like, human players, like, it's a human mage, with the, like, I like the look, you know? I thought humans looked really derpy before, but yeah, as I see them now, looks fine. Looks absolutely fine. I am taking a lot of notice of the, like, both the NPCs and the players around me, and, man, God, everyone just looks better now. So much better. Well, I guess I kind of understand why. I was just thinking, like, why isn't this just the default that TurtleWoW uses, right? But so when I looked up the TurtleWoW HD patches, I also saw a bunch of players, are apparently very, very, very attached to the original vanilla look and sound of everything. Like, when I say they're really attached, I mean they will fight for the honor of those vanilla graphics and sound effects. So I guess that's why they use just the basic vanilla, right? I would assume. But for me, who has no attachment to World of Warcraft in general, this just looks and sounds and feels so much better, right? And as long as the world and gameplay is classic, I don't really see what the harm is in having the game look and sound a little nicer, right? I guess I don't really get it. It's kind of like EverQuest, right? Like in EverQuest, I like the look and feel of the original graphics and everything, but at a certain point they had like the Luklin graphics that in some way they're a step forward, in some way they're a step back. They're a sidestep, basically. But you can't deny that they are higher poly count, higher resolution, like they, on a technical level, look better. But like Project 1999, they purposefully disabled it. So even if you try to like mod it in, the client disables the nicer look. And I don't understand that, right? I can't understand why you wouldn't allow people, even on their own client side end, to not make the game look the way they want it to look, right? That makes no sense to me. Especially if we're playing on these private servers, right? Like, come on, let people do what they want to do. So I'm happy that at least TurtleWoW hasn't like forcefully disabled the ability to mod your clients, you know, the look and everything. At least they haven't done that. That's nice of them. Okay, so I have a bunch of quests that want me to kill things or go to places that are, like, all the quests really say is south of Darkshire, right? That looks like it should be a thing. It's very bright. But I assume I'll run into some skeletons and things out here. Oh, hold up. I got Blind Mary. Okay, here we go. Oh, I should probably, yeah, buff up real quick. Let me remember what kind of buffs have I got? Not a whole lot, I don't think. Let's see. I have my Seal of Righteousness. I have that. But there's nothing to fight out here, funny enough. Oh, they tore out their eyes with their own hands. I can still feel your gaze. I don't know. Is Blind Mary hideous? I don't know. I mean, I find it interesting that look, a ghost may not need legs, but they can still have a mighty fine assets. Very important as a ghost. Okay, so Ghost Comb. Alright, yep. So I guess I got the Ghost Comb and back to town, but, well, not just yet. There should be some things to fight out here, right? Like, another quest, at least one, wanted me to go south of Darkshire. And yeah, I don't know, for the blessing, I like Blessing of Sanctuary. I mean, I got it because of protection, right? I mean, I like how it reduces damage dealt to me. I like that. Even when I'm solo, that helps out a lot. And when I block, the target takes holy damage, and I mean, I'm all about blocking, right? So that's both an offense and defense boost. I like that. I mean, I don't know if I'd get more out of just Blessing of Might, but yeah, I like the dual offense defense boost of the Blessing I'm using. It's okay. I think Skeletal. I think I have quests for this, right? Let's fight. And I want to pay closer attention to the actual combat animations. I do feel like it's not super different, but it feels like there's more going on with the combat animations, you know? Like visually, right? There's more special effects and stuff, and the sound effects are a little more intense too. Ooh, an insane ghoul. It's a little higher level. Oh, that's level 26. Let me heal self. Heal self. Okay, exercise him. I got the holy damage. But yeah, I feel like things don't look like crazy different, but I definitely feel like there's just a lot more feedback, right? It feels like there's a greater feedback on everything. I might wanna... let's see, where is my... Lay them hands on! There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I was hitting the wrong button for a sec. Alright, ooh, man. Right in half. Okay, so yeah, okay, I need skeleton fingers, I need to kill skeleton warriors and mages, but I guess I gotta watch out for those insane ghouls. Those give me a little bit of a run for my money. Yeah, I've purposefully disabled the nameplates. I hate that in games. Again, I like my immersion a lot, and yeah, I find that having like floaty name tags over everything, it really takes me out of the game. So whenever I can play the game without name tags, I prefer to do that. Let's see, I can remove poison and diseases. I can't remove curses. It increases my physical damage taken. Ouch. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, I can still see names and stuff. All I have to do is like float over, right? Like if I click on them, I can see the name tag if I click. If I just hover my mouse over it, I can see it in the bottom right corner. I can still see things. It's just, you know, only if I want to, right? And that's a good balance for me. It's just when I play games, like there are few things that will take me out of a game more than having a floating name tag over a character's head, right? That just, like, I hate that. I think the problem is when you're really trying to immerse in the world, nothing really reminds you more that you're playing a video game than that, right? Like, obviously some concessions have to be made, like, you know, I need to see how much damage I'm doing, right? So, okay, I gotta have the floaty text, right? But, you know, things that I don't immediately need, I'd rather not see them. Oh, he hamstringed me. I know that I am very opposite to a lot of players of these kinds of games in that way. Like, I know a lot of players like to have their screen like 90% user interface, and they're only looking at the actual game through like a tiny little, you know, a little peekaboo hole, right? Like that. I can't do that, right? Like, I can't live like that, so So this is what I gotta do, right? I'm the opposite. I mean, there's games that I don't mind it in, but it depends entirely on how immersed I want to be in the game, you know? Like, there's some games, like, if a game isn't, like, if the game itself isn't particularly immersive, then I can accept a lot of things. But when I'm really trying to just get into it, role play a little even, I like to... I like to have a minimal UI in that case. Also, I should use my exorcism a little more. I mean, it's pretty good damage, I'd say. I mean, I think my Holy Strike does about as much, but it's still nice, and it's instant, I guess. Oh man, add-ons where everything's just right in the middle of the screen. I mean, that kind of reminds me, I've experimented a little more with, like, some interface plugins and add-ons for FF11 on Horizon. And a lot of those plugins, they add whole new UI elements, but they're just, like, right in the middle of the screen. You can move them, but it's like, it just adds more shit to the screen, and it feels so bad for me, right? Like, like the minimap add-on for, or plugin for Horizon, like, that minimap is very handy. It shows resources when they spawn in, and you don't have to, like, manually tab target for them. Like, hey, that's nice. But the problem is, it adds this big-ass minimap to your screen that you can't hide it or anything, and it... the screen gets too busy, right? Very me problems, I know. There, okay, that exorcism's pretty nice damage, and you know, you can just kind of throw it out whenever. And what's the actual MP cost? It's 85 mana. I mean, my Holy Strike, the Holy Strike does almost as much damage, but it costs almost as much mana too. And it's not like, it's not an instantaneous thing, it's your next melee strike, so you might have to wait a second for it to actually fire off, you know? Man, I don't like being so cursed. Man, I gotta say, like, the combat just, it's funny, like, mechanically, nothing has changed, right? Like, absolutely nothing has mechanically changed about the video game. But to be blunt, the combat feels so much better now. Like, it just has a better, like, everything has a better feedback to it, and it has, like I can visually see what's happening much more easily, and it just, man, it feels good. Uh-oh, that insane ghoul, I want to stay away from that one. If I can, I want to avoid fighting it. So I'm gonna have to, like, see, I don't need a nameplate, I can take one look at that guy and I know what it is, right? Like, he looks very different than the skeletons. But yeah, I want to avoid that one. But I do need these warriors and mages, so we're killing around the graveyard for a little bit right now. I don't know. I don't know about the best, right? For me, City of Heroes has, like, if we're talking like old school MMOs, I'd say City of Heroes. City of Heroes honestly feels the best to me. It's the most, like, it's the most fun as a video game kind of combat. Like, when you play City of Heroes, you can have fun with the combat in that, whether you're in a group or solo. You know, like, it feels like you're playing a video game, not necessarily an MMO. You know, like, the game stands on its own in its combat. This is nice, I do like it, it has a good feel to it. But for me, it's very MMO combat, you know, which is, this would be, you know, it works great for team play. It's more than acceptable. It is fun, but it's MMO combat. right? City of Heroes doesn't feel like City of Heroes feels like you're playing a superhero video game, which is a good thing, right? It doesn't feel like it's MMO combat. Again, I will never not hype up City of Heroes because I love the game, but I still think it probably stands the best as just a video game, you know? Alright, I haven't been healing or anything, you know? I could eat these, I have these wolf kebabs, I could eat some of those. And this will give me more stamina, right? It's stamina and spirit, so a little more health, a little more MP regen, you know, that's nice. Alright, I need 2 more mages. And I'm not sure, like, okay, the skeleton fingers, right? Okay, I keep killing skeletons for that. The ghoul fang, oh, the insane. I'm gonna have to kill more insane ghouls, aren't I? I don't know if there's more ghouls just hanging around, but, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to kill more ghouls then. And then the vial of spider venom. Well, spiders are north of Darkshire, for the most part, so I guess I have to go back that way. Oh, I didn't even see that one. He was hiding in the bush. My camera wasn't even pointed at me. But I'll just say, for what this is, compared to what I was playing before, again, the look and sound and feel of the combat is just so much nicer now. What I like, and again, to make MMO combat feel better, for me what it needs is it needs to feel like there is an impact to your actions, right? Like when I swing sword and hit enemy, there needs to be a good sound effect, like a good chunky sound effect. If I throw a fireball at something, I want to hear the crisp sound of the crackling fire, and I want to hear a good, poof explosion when it hits the target, right? I need, like, you want to feel the impact of what you're doing. I mean, I guess that's not just an MMO thing. That's a video game in general thing. But I honestly feel like the vanilla combat sound effects, especially, they just feel so floaty. They feel non-committal. And the animations too, like, I don't know. It wasn't. It's why I wasn't having fun with Mage, right? Because I felt like I was shooting sparkler sparks, right, instead of fireballs, and that wasn't a good feeling. But I don't know. I guess some people are really nostalgic for that. Like when I was looking for the patches, there were so many people defending just the vanilla look and sound of the game. So I guess that floaty, airy feeling, disconnected combat, I guess some people, that is iconic, I guess. I guess. Like, I don't really understand that, but I guess if you have an intense nostalgia for it, I could see it from that angle, I mean, hey, I get that, right? I am intensely nostalgic for classic EverQuest and its look and feel, right? I'm super nostalgic for it. It makes me happy, but I can't deny that the characters are lower poly than a Minecraft character, right? And that the look and feel of the game is incredibly primitive 3D, right? Like, I can't deny that. So it could just be my nostalgia goggles, right? So I can't deny that it's a powerful thing, right? For me, I guess I'm coming into this a little different because I don't... Yeah, like, I kind of purposefully avoided World of Warcraft. I never developed nostalgia for it for that reason. And so I am the stranger coming into this land. And, I mean, what people find iconic or nostalgic or whatever, I just kind of roll with it. But on my end, if I can make things feel more like how I want it to feel, then that's only a good thing, I think. Keeps my head in the game. Oh, man! I keep getting ambushed from behind. I mean, I know it's probably like if they had a big glowy nameplate over their head, I'd see them more easy, but like, I mean, my camera wasn't even pointed that way, so I doubt I would have seen it even with that. But man, enemies just like, they come up on you out of nowhere. That happens to me a lot in this game. Alright, before I do other things, I found like an item I wanted to break down. Yeah, here we go. The Ritual Belt of the Owl. Well, it's 2 int 3 spirit. That's a little better than my Buccaneer's Cord, actually. A little tiny bit. The armor's actually worse, but the spirit's better. So, alright, let's break down the old one. There we go. Get some more of that magic crack. Alright, so I still need 10 ghoul fangs. Is there another ghoul I can fight other than the insane ghoul? And there's only one insane ghoul too, and I need 10 fingers, so like that is gonna take 4 goddamn ever, right? Ooh, Nightbane, Vile Fangs. Well, they are way higher level. So I assume I don't want to fight that. Oh god, more of these guys. I have to be careful where I wander. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's a better source of ghouls around here. The Western Cemetery. Which I assume you mean Raven Hill, right? I mean, there is still a lot, like, I haven't explored, funny enough, I haven't, like, I guess there's something over here near Darkshire, but the middle of the map is completely unexplored for me. But let's go back towards Darkshire, and I guess, I need the spiders, right? I need spider stuff for another quest, too. Yeah, here we go. The Dusky Crab Cakes. I need gooey spider legs. And I know you can find spiders north of Darkshire, so I'll try that out. And now here's something I've noticed already about this game when it comes to, like, the cooking quests, right? Because there's a lot of quests that give you recipes and they want you to find the ingredients. Here's what I've noticed is that the actual ingredients seem to be really rare. Like, I could kill like dozens of things and not get the items I need. Like, that's just what I've noticed, right? Not sure how to feel about it. All I can say is it makes me really, really, really wish that this game had some kind of, you know, Final Fantasy treasure hunter equivalent, right? Like, I wish that there was some ability or skill or something that would increase my loot chances, but it's fine.
Can I help you?
Alright, so quest returned. Now let's see, getting reports of undead infestation in the forest. Another one. So 15 vile skeletal fiends, 15 skeletal horrors. I assume these are a little higher level, right? Yeah, this one's a little higher level than the last one. So I might want to just hold on to that.
king's honor, friend.
Let's see. Did I complete this? Or yeah, return the comb. Okay, yeah, I can make a spool of ghost hair thread. It has 1,000 uses, from binding evil spirits to sewing life into inanimate objects. Huh. Okay, so, yeah, back to the shack north of the cemetery.
Be careful.
Alright, and then I need to deliver the thread. And then it's the crab cakes, the dusky crab cakes. Okay, so I know that I can kill crabs up here. Ooh, what is this? A black ravager. That looks awesome. Like that looks pretty rad. I don't think I've seen that enemy model before. Which I assume this HD patch, I mean, other than just the character, I assume, since the environments are a little upgraded too, I would only assume that some of the mobs have also been upgraded, right? I'd assume. Alright, so I just want to... I want to uncover more stuff. So we got fetid corpses here. Those are level 30. I don't think I want to mess with those, right? That looks like it connects to a different zone over here. And I guess it's a higher level zone. Alright, but at least now I got that part of my map. Like, I like having a nice full map, right? I gotta check all this stuff out, too. But, spiders! Spiders. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I know there's spiders up here, so let's fight them, and I guess I'll get some gooey legs out of it. Ooh. We might have to take a moment though. The wife just pulled up rather early, so I'll have to see where we're at for what's going on. So let me back off a little bit here. Oh, the wife returns, and I think she wants something. Alright, well then I guess if I can do it quickly, then we'll take a bit of a break here and resume after. Alright, so some ramens. Okay, I'm trying to think if I want to split to... because I wanted to take a look at Star Wars Galaxies for a sec too, but we'll keep up with this for a bit. I'll just take a pause here. So, all right, let me put the AFK flag up. Here we go. So AFK flag on, and couple minutes, might be back and forth, but lunch stuff, and then we'll resume. So sorry for the interruption. BRB. Alright, a quick update. Noodles are going kind of back and forth here. Might have to do another thing real quick. Also, the cats. Oh, cats are hungry. So it's a little bit of a break here. But we're still on. Still no plan to total end just yet. But hang in there a bit longer. So be right back again. Alright, I'm back. So, okay. Flag down, back in. And back to trying to find those gooey spider legs. Alright, so I think, yeah, those I can find all around here. And then I have to go over to the West Cemetery for the other ghoul parts. Which I find it a little strange how the zone is laid out in such a way that the higher level stuff is kind of right in the middle, but the northeast and west side are both lower level. I don't know, it's I've noticed that about how some of the zones can be laid out, is that things go from higher to lower level, but not in a linear fashion like you might expect. And I think with some of the zones, that's probably because, well, Horde and Alliance players, like right now I'm not really seeing it, because I guess we're kind of in the low-level Alliance zones, right? So it should just be Alliance for the most part. But as we kind of go further out into the higher levels, I assume there's more blended areas, you know? Where, like, okay, Horde players and Alliance players might be on the same map, and so but they would have to have totally different towns and everything, right? Because their NPCs are kill on sight to each other, so that might account for some of the weirdness. Oh, sorry, I see but a quick cat distraction. He's meowing at me. Yeah, he wants attention. I'm trying to give it to him real quick. Oh. Alright, he's already had the food. There's the attention. But, okay, let me see here. I mean, for, like, again, I am horrible to ask how this compares to, like, World of Warcraft back in ye olden times, because literally playing on TurtleWoW here is the first time I've ever played World of Warcraft in any form. Like, I have no previous exposure to it. I was an EverQuest kid. But what I hear people say, generally people that like the kind of vanilla, old-school, classic vibe, they really, really like this server a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. And the 5,000 to 10,000 players logged in at any given moment, which is, man, retail MMOs could be lucky to get such numbers on their servers at times. I guess that supports that people really like it, so...
I take it you have to pay for that server? Like, have access to a private server?
No.
Someone is putting a whole lot of money into the server if it can hold 10,000 people.
Well, they have a, like, they accept donations if you want to, but that's it. So, yeah. I assume there does seem to be a lot of love for the old school game, and a lot of WoW players, they just want their classic WoW, but they don't want the blizzard that comes with it. So I think there's a lot of just labor of love in there, I think.
Yeah, but love alone can't pay the bills for a server.
But multiple people pitching in together can.
Yeah, that's
what,
for sure.
Like,
people that donate obviously can help.
Like, I assume that, because there's actually a lot of developers on the server, I'd assume that if they all pooled their resources, it wouldn't be that bad, plus donations, so, yeah. I assume it works out fine. But, I mean, they have multiple servers now, but I don't know. There's lots of private servers that run 5,000 players or less. Don't even take donations, so like I don't think it's that costly to run some of these old MMOs on servers. Like if you're in a position where you might already even have the infrastructure for it. So, yeah. But yeah, I think someone like Red Bear would be better to ask like how it compares, because I think Red Bear knows a little better about this. Well, yeah, I guess, you know, they take just donations, but they do have the donation reward shop, which it's purely cosmetic. Like,
which is nice.
Yeah, like, look, appearance change, or skins, you know. There's the gameplay stuff even, that's just like, it's not stuff you need. You don't need a portable auction house. You can literally just like, I can teleport to an auction right now, you know?
I would feel a little obligated to get the backpack slots because, quite frankly, I am an inventory goblin. I constantly have the problem in Skyrim, in Monster Hunter, in every game that I play that either has a limit on how much weight you can carry or a limit on how much space your inventory has, that my inventory is overflowing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I guess my inventory's pretty full, but just in-game, you can just get bigger bags, like, you know,
Okay.
it's not... and you can also just make characters and freely transfer your items between them, so I mean, it's, you know, it's whatever.
I can see why bag is the most popular item, because I am not the only inventory goblin.
Yeah.
There's a word for it, so there's a lot of people that do it.
I mean, for me, I might get one of the advanced skins at some point, but, like... So here's the thing, what I know is, you actually get, and you see most of the items here are, like, less than 100 points. You get 200 points for just max leveling a character in the slow mode, which I am. I'm in slow mode because it's more
nice.
fun. So there's even just some free point handouts for that kind of thing. But, yeah, like, I think people who really like this server and really like what's going on, probably they're gonna donate at least a little bit every now and then. And I think that the hardcore WoW fans, the old school ones, yeah, they seem to really like it, so I could see them wanting to support it too. But I don't know, as someone who has, like, yeah, no nostalgia for World of Warcraft, anything like that, I've been having a fun time here, especially now that I've discovered the HD patches for the game and it looks so much nicer. But yeah, like, for me, as someone who just likes old school, classic style, you know, Ultima-esque, EverQuest-esque MMOs, it more or less hits the spot for me. I like it. I'm more of an FF11 kind of guy, but it works good for me. It's worth, like, popping in every now and then and checking out for me. The main thing that always gets me about this server, though, is that, like, every time I log in, yeah, there's, like, between 5,000 and 10,000 players logged in, and that is, like, compared to the other MMOs that I check out here on the channel, like the other classic, you know, classic game private servers, like, all I can say is that is insane. that is insane. Retail, like, I have played retail MMOs that cannot get those kind of numbers on any individual servers, right? There are retail MMOs right now that have less players in total. So yeah, like, that's the thing that always gets me whenever I log into TurtleWoW. And I mean, it's World of Warcraft, but still, I guess people really like what they do. That's all I can say, is I guess people really, really like it. Alright, but let's see, I wanna try and get these 2 quests over here done. I wanna try. But then I'm thinking, you know, once I get my quests wrapped up here, and like, for the first, like, half hour, we just kind of gushed over how applying these, you know, these HD later models and textures and sound effects just made the game feel so much better. That was just like a half hour of gushing. But, you know, after we get some things wrapped up here, I think, I did also want to take a look at, you know, I want to take a look at a very classic style Star Wars Galaxies server. So we'll maybe do that after we wrap up here, but we'll see. We'll see. Also, Red Bear didn't, like, okay, here's what little I know from my secondhand knowledge, but, I mean, most World of Warcraft players, they usually say that Cataclysm is kind of when they stopped liking the game so much. So I am wondering, I am kind of wondering, if maybe, yeah, there's gonna be some drop-off when that happens. I wonder. But here's kind of the problem, right? Like, okay, this is sort of the problem with these classic/progression style servers that retail games like to do now. Because EverQuest has done the whole progression, you know, classic progression server thing. They're constantly cycling progression servers. On one hand, it's kind of cool that you can experience the game sort of, you know, patch by patch as it was, and, you know, that's kind of cool, right? But here's the problem with that kind of thing. The problem is that at a certain point, the progression servers will catch up to the retail game, and you're just playing on a you're just playing on a normal retail server now, right? Like, that's kind of the problem. I honestly think that for people who really like a classic style version of a game, I think, you know, just commit to making a server that just stays in a particular era of the game and, you know, doesn't move forward, or do something like, you know, well, like what TurtleWoW here does, or Horizon for FF11, like, you know, have a classic build, but then expand on it in a different direction, right? But I think the problem with just doing classic progression is that eventually you progress to retail, and then, well, what are we even doing? What's the point now, right? And you know it's coming, so, yeah. But, like, yeah, all the EverQuest progression servers, they have that problem. Every game with a progression server has that problem. Yeah, I mean, I could imagine just like, I don't know about the mechanical stuff because, you know, I'm not that familiar with the game. Also, I'm just gonna run over here to the west now. It's gonna run that way. But like, as someone who really likes these old school MMOs and their worlds because they're memorable, right? I could see the game world changing in a significant way. I could see that alone really chasing people off, you know? Like, if you're really nostalgic for the certain look and feel of a zone, and then all of a sudden it's just totally different or whatever, like, I could see that putting people off. But yeah, I think, like, yeah, maybe if they're gonna just keep progressing, you know, maybe let people like maybe make servers that are just hard set in a certain era, but maybe with a couple, you know, changes, and then let people transfer to that, right? Let them migrate away. Because that's, like, it's why I couldn't do an EverQuest progression server, right? Like, because you know, you know that it's just gonna become the normal game at some point, and you're gonna be stuck along for the ride, right? Like, you're gonna have a lot of fun to a certain point, and then it's all downhill from there. Like, at least with something like Project 1999, like, with Project 1999, they have their green progression server, which is, at this point, caught up to the normal blue server. But the thing is that they only progress to the second expansion. They don't go beyond that. So you know, that like progression to a point, right? I kind of feel like that's the way. But I think in general, like, not Blizzard specific, but I think a lot of MMO runners, you know, a lot of them don't really understand what the bulk of their players actually like or want. And they generally don't like to listen to what their players like or want. And that kind of thing has just outright killed MMOs in the past. Like, again, if we can, you know, once we're done with this and we take a quick look at some Star Wars Galaxies, like, that's literally what killed Star Wars Galaxies. The players liked the Ultima-style freeform sandbox MMO with a Star Wars skin. You know, the players liked that. But yeah, no, the company decided that, no, look, we're not doing those World of Warcraft numbers because Star Wars fans want an action adventure. They don't want to be, they don't want to be a droid engineer or a creature bioengineer. No, they want to be Han Solos. They want to be the Luke Skywalkers. Just do that. Just make the game that. It's sort of a plague of MMO design, I think, is just willfully ignoring what your player base wants and then suffering the consequences of it. Yeah, no, I see. I just, like, I was trying to avoid all the wolves and stuff, you know? Also, I was mainly going over here. I need to go that way for something, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah. Hello. This guy here. There's your ghost thread. Oh god, zombie juice. So they want me to go back to Darkshire, and they want me to get some zombie juice. Alright. So this is just a circle. It's a big ol' circle. Oh, the crab cake. Oh god, the crab cakes want me to go back to Darkshire. Okay, so I have 2 quests now to go back to Darkshire. But, I still need these ghoul things. I guess the question is if I can get the, like, I don't know, are flesh eaters ghouls? Is this a ghoul? I can kill it. It'll be hard, but I can kill it. Yeah, let me just, oh yeah, right, I can pull them with that. I don't know, this has it has a similar model to the ghoul, like the insane ghoul back near Darkshire. So I assume this is a ghoul that will drop ghoul parts. And it's only level 24, which is 2 levels higher than me, but very dual. Very, very dual. Okay, yeah. That gives me the ghoul things. Also, let me just eat some more of my wolf kebab. And, oh yeah, I've picked up some enchanted items, haven't I? This green carapace shield, which, how does that compare to what I have? It's 428 armor, 7 block. That is better than what I have. It's better than what I have. It doesn't give me the 3 stamina. I like my stamina, but it's significantly more defense and it's more block. So that'll probably do me better than the extra stamina, because that's just health. That's just hit points. I am so disappointed. I am so incredibly disappointed that the shield that just, it looks like a spider, right? I am so disappointed that it doesn't look like just a dead spider turned into a shield, right? I am incredibly disappointed in that. Like, I wanted a shield that was, like, shaped like a spider or something, right? That would have been cool. Alright, do I have any other items that I'm holding on, like any other enchanted? I don't think so. I do have some wool cloth, though. I can craft that into more bandages. Also, my cooking skill is, I think I've hit 150 cooking, but I'm not really sure what to do to go to the next level, right? No trainers will train me harder. I guess I should keep an eye out that there's nothing behind me, right? That's a player. Okay. Oh man, it blocked my attack, resisted my exorcism. I mean, I guess that's fighting things higher level, right? I really like how they just fall in half when they die. I really like that. Okay, that one's a little higher level. That one's a lot higher level. Okay, it seems like they get significantly tougher the further south I go, actually. And this rotted one is 25. That's... I can do it. I can pull it off. Oh, that not so much. Well, we'll see, right? We'll see how this goes down. He just kind of spawned, like, he spawned right on top of me. I do have some potions. Yeah, there we go. I got those good potions. Okay, no, that's yet another one attacking me. That's a little too much. That's too much. I might go down. I might be going down, we'll see. Probably gonna die. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Hit the end of their tether. Awesome. Some enemies will chase you for goddamn ever, but I guess not these. I could, like, if the third one didn't join in, if that third one didn't join, I totally could have done it, right? But 3 at the same time is a little much. And that one's level 27. This is something I really struggle with in this game, but like I've had this happen so much, right? So in this game, when enemies, like, when they respawn, right, they can immediately start attacking, like the moment they spawn in. That is very different from most games I've played. Like in most MMOs, like FF11 for instance, you know, like, let's say you're fighting, right, and then a goblin spawns in right next to you. There's a couple of seconds where the enemy will just kind of stand there and not really notice anything, so you can get away. You know, you don't get into that situation where you're fighting like 3 guys at once. This game just doesn't really have that, it doesn't have that protection, you know? And that is kinda hard to get a handle on. I guess you just have to know where the enemies are and where they're gonna spawn in, I guess. I know. Pro gamer move right there. I also have no idea. Look, when it comes to the tethers that these things have, like, I've had enemies, right? Like over in, over in Westfall, right? So over in Westfall, to bring it up. So yeah, I remember once I was running out of Django load mine here, right? And I aggroed an enemy, like, right at the entrance there. And he followed me all the way over here, right? Like damn near halfway across the map, he followed me the whole way. Attacking me, like, the whole goddamn way. And I don't understand why some enemies, they, like, I don't know, they just stick to you like glue. Like, nothing will make them back down. And then other enemies, like those ghouls, like, they just kind of got bored after a minute, right? I don't really understand. Okay, so he's, oh hey, a Tauren Druid. I'm kind of surprised to see a Horde player just out here. Alright. I guess I'll have to go a little deeper then if I want to get some more kills. Oh, wait, does that, like, does doing damage in any form, does that, like, does damaging the enemy, does that, like, extend their tether? Like, is that how that works? I don't know. Like, in most MMOs that I've played, either enemies have, like, a very strict set tether limit, right? Like, they're either a super strict tether limit, or it's like Final Fantasy XI or EverQuest, where enemies will literally follow you to the ends of the earth, right? Like, they'll follow you to the zone line. But I haven't, like, that is new to me. I've never seen that. I have actually never seen that in any of the MMOs that I've played, where, like, doing damage will extend the amount of time they will chase you. That's a new one on me. Well, I'll have to keep that in mind now. So if I really want to get away, I have to make sure I'm not doing any damage to them. I guess I just thought, like, everything has a tether, and there's a... I just thought the tether was different for everything, but this makes more sense now. Huh. I mean, I kind of, like, I can kind of understand the logic behind it. I mean, if you're, like, if you're running away, but still hitting the enemy, I mean, you're making it mad still, right? So it wants to kill you. That makes sense to me, right? I understand. Like, either run away or fight back, but don't do this weird in-between. I get it. Man, I'm still just kind of sitting back, like, admiring the sound and animation and everything. It's just so much nicer. It's so much nicer. Okay, let's see, I got some drink, right? I have 3 melon juice? That's all I got? Man, I thought I had more drinks to go around. I guess not. And, yeah, you know what, like, I have seen some enemies in places they shouldn't be on this server, so I guess you can still kinda sorta do that, kinda, to an extent. But yeah, I could see why it's not a great idea to let people, you know, pull, like, big bosses and stuff into towns. I can kinda get that. Alright. Still a hassle to remember to keep those buffs on, right? I feel like that's the thing about Paladin that's really just, it's gonna be hard for me, is remembering to keep those blessings on. especially when I actually get into parties, right? Like, oh my god, I know I'm gonna forget. It's gonna happen. God, for like a sword and shield user, I feel like I do so much damage. At least to undead anyway. I mean, the only thing specific to undead is my exorcism. I mean, my normal attacks with holy damage, they hit so goddamn hard. I love it. I was really not expecting for Paladin to feel like, you know, like such a powerhouse, killing enemies so high above me. I wasn't expecting it, but it feels good. Alright, I might have to actually use that melon juice. Let's pop it. I like that I still, you know, I still have a little snack by, you know, I dunk my bread into my giant mug and then apply it directly to my face. I like that. I hear such mixed things about Warrior, you know, which honestly sounds a lot like Warrior in some other games I've played. What it sounds like is that Warrior here, it can either be incredible or it can be really, really shitty, depending entirely upon like how expensive your equipment is. That's what I have seen. It's what I've seen and heard. And I guess it makes sense. I mean, Warrior is very, well, physical dependent, right? Like, I don't imagine they have much utility to go around, right? Oh, wait. Just get out of there. I'm gonna try to avoid fighting things, like, in the cemetery, because I don't want to get spawned on again. Oh, no, miss, dodge. Okay, finally, I was trying to apply my Crusader Strike. But I am missing constantly. Oh yeah, right, I can unleash my seal. See, I haven't been unleashing my seal. But that is some extra damage, too. Ah, I see. Yeah, like, so far, I mean, I played around with Rogue a little bit to start. I didn't get too far with that one, but, mainly, like, the two characters I've played over level 20 so far is my Mage and then this Paladin. My Mage felt incredibly squishy if I get overwhelmed. But Mage, like, 9 out of 10 times, as with my Mage, I could kill enemies before they even get to me, right? Like, they don't even get a chance to fight back. And then as my Paladin, well, I can't do that, but I can just toe-to-toe with enemies. And my gear, I think my gear is fairly average to under par. But I can just toe-to-toe with enemies, and, you know, even if, like, multiple high-level enemies, and it seems to work out, so. I don't know if I just chose really well, but, yeah, for me, Paladin feels surprisingly good. Very different from most Paladins in MMOs that I've played. Like, EverQuest Paladins are just kind of sad, honestly. I like them, but they're sad. Okay, 27. Now this is red. This one might be, like, now I might be pushing my luck. This might be too hard for me. Just because it hits, like, I can't physically hurt him. Like, my attacks just don't land anymore. But it's the one that I saw to pull, right? So, well, here we are. I think I might just not be... I might just not have the damage for this. I mean, I don't know if I'm persistent, right? Maybe. if I'm super persistent, I do have the lay hands too. Oh, hold up. We're having a reversal here, maybe. Alright. There's my hands. They've been laid. Can I get a little more MP back? I need a little more MP to make this work. Okay, here we go. Yeah! Okay, so that one was 5 levels higher than me, and yeah, I did kind of have to pull out the stops, but I did it. The main issue there is just that my attacks, like the fight was going on way too long because my attacks were just missing constantly. But once I got a few lucky hits in, its health bar went down and it worked out. But I think maybe let's not do that again. You know what? I like my mage, but yeah, I'm thinking paladin. I'm thinking paladin all the way now. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I also just conceptually I like the paladin idea. I like the idea of a character that can wear all armor types, and you know can switch. Like, yeah, depending on how I build and how I gear, I can switch between tanking, healing, or dealing damage. Like it's a red mage. This is basically a red mage, and I kind of love that. I'm a World of Warcraft red mage, and that's where I want to be. Okay, someone just killed everything here. So I'm getting into the danger zone now, having to go a little deeper, but yeah, these are lower level ghouls. I only need 2 more, or well, you know, 2 more drops. That could take a while still. Oh, get that blessing back on. I mean, if my gear was better, right? If my gear was better, if I had more, like, consumables, I might not have even needed to use that lay on hands, right? I might not have had to do that if I was a little better. Ooh, I got an old history book. What's this all about? Huh. The history of Stormwind. Huh. Okay, well I get 14 silver for doing this, so return the book. So I have to return... Okay, the quest is to return the book to the library. Alright. Don't want to pay those late fees. Okay, so I still need one more ghoul thing, and everything here seems to be a ghoul, so I just gotta find one more. But there's a lot of players out here just kind of killing things.
There's a pigeon in form of a cat sitting behind you.
Oh, our silver cat is making fun noises again.
Sounds like a bird.
But, yeah, like, look, when it comes to, like, I don't like Paladin because it's, like, overpowered or anything like that. I like the idea because it's very Red Mage-esque, right? I like the idea of having huge role versatility and wear whatever equipment you want. You know, lots of diversity of play and all that. I like that. I like jack-of-all-trades characters. And I wasn't really expecting that in a Paladin. That's usually like a hard defensive tank class in most games. But, yeah, I like that the Paladin here is pretty diverse. I like that. That's my playstyle right there. Oh yeah, there is like a wandering high-level enemy out here somewhere. I've seen it before. Like a random wandering named undead. Spiders. Well, I'm not gonna fight. Okay, let me not auto attack him. I don't want to fight him because I don't get anything for that. I have no quest for spiders, so I'm gonna try to run them to their tether. Let me use this. There we go. So they can't hit me. I also really like that invulnerability ability. I have tried to use it in a party setting, and something goes weird when you do that. I've noticed it, like doing a little dead mines on my own. When you go invulnerable for like, it's like 5 seconds, I think? 6 seconds. When you go invulnerable, the enemies immediately stop attacking you, and they go to whoever else has the highest aggro. Like, they basically ignore that you exist. And, as a healer, I could see that working out, but when you're the tank, like, suddenly everything just immediately murders the healer, right?
Then don't use it when you're the tank.
Yeah,
because that is kind of... I can see why they did it like that, so that the tank doesn't just make himself invulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, because a lot of the games I play, tanks get, like, an invulnerable ability, right? As a panic move.
Which is very cheesy.
But understandable, and, like, in FF14, for instance, boss fights are designed with that invulnerability window in mind, and if you don't have it, you just die, so, like, mechanically it can work.
Yeah, but mechanically it can also work to expect the player to manage their HP bar correctly, and if they don't, and they use invulnerability as a panic move, they are screwing over their team. That is a perfectly valid way to do it.
Yeah. I don't know, I like the idea of having some panic buttons. I like that. You know, most games have some panic buttons going on, and it's good to be able to make a save, right? A saving throw.
I've played too few games that actually come with a panic button.
For party-based games like this, you kind of want panic buttons to, when things go wrong, to be able to save everyone in some way. Usually it's healers, like in FF11, how White Mage has Benediction that just instantly full heals the whole party, but that generates so much aggro that the healer is now the tank and no one can pull the enemy off of them. So, like, you know, that's a panic button with a consequence. That's standard.
Yeah, and that is the invulnerability in this. The panic button with a consequence. The consequence being you are screwing over your team.
Yeah, though I do think, like Red Bear, it's I think it's much more, because Paladin can also be a healer in a party, so I think it's more meant for when you're the healer, because then there's no downside to using it. And also, well, actually, so, okay, I have 2 of these. I have Divine Protection, which is only for me, and then I have Blessing of Protection, which I can use on others. They both are invulnerability. But, I guess the one I can use on others... Well, okay, here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to think where I would get use out of that. I guess if someone else gets aggro who shouldn't have it, okay. If
someone else gets aggro who shouldn't have it, or if you're playing in a larger group and you're fighting a strong boss,
well, yeah.
And the other tank is about to go down, you cast invulnerability on them and make yourself the primary tank.
Yeah, and kind of like a tank swap thing, too. I guess that, but I was just thinking, like, well, okay, say I was the healer, or a DPS even in the party, not the tank. You could technically grief your party with that, right? By, like, I just cast it on the tank, right? And then, well, they can't remove it, so,
You can grief the party in a lot of ways, but you can also really help the party if, let's say, the DPS managed to draw aggro, and now you cast invulnerability on the DPS, and aggro goes back to the tank.
Yeah, I guess it kind of... Yeah. So it has situational uses. Situational. And that's kind of what I like. What am I being attacked by? Is that some NMs over there? A named monster. That is a lot. Get that blessing on. Oh no, what is this? The Bride of the Embalmer. Well, I just stumbled into a shitstorm. I hope I can get
Looks
away.
like water to me.
Oh, I think maybe the water did him in. Okay. Okay, they cannot pass into the forest. All right.
Okay, Gandalf.
All right. Well, now I'm over here now. Okay, so I need to get over to Darkshire, back into the gloom zone here. But
It's Darkshire, actually.
Everyone's like Goldshire, Northshire.
Northshire, Goldshire.
It's the Shire, like, you know, where the hobbits are.
Yeah, which you would also, if you were to pronounce it correctly, sure. You don't pronounce that Shire. As a bastardized pronunciation.
But Shire sounds better to me. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's how you've heard it.
Yeah, I watched Lord of the Rings, alright?
He was chased by the Bride of the Embalmer.
I don't even know where that came from. There was just named monster just came out of nowhere and attacked me. As far as I know, it spawned on top of me.
No, I think her name was Eliza?
Yeah, no, it wasn't Morlatum, but it was the Bride of the Embalmer thing. I forget what the name of it was.
I think it's Eliza, but I'm not sure.
It was that and like 5 other enemies. I literally don't know where it came from. But fortunately, they didn't seem to...
From behind you.
Yeah, they didn't seem to be able to cross the river, so that worked out. I'm gonna get back to Darkshire, but I figure I can do it by way of Goldshire, which I still say Shire, it's a reflex. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, so was that spawned, like... Because some quests, people turn it in and it spawns a monster. So was someone doing like a high-level quest and it spawned a monster and then I just... For some reason, I got aggro instead of them? Ooh, also, looks like the fair is setting up here. You can get the turtle mount here.
To be honest, I just stand by the statement she came from behind him.
But I love this fair thing that, like, it moves around. Like, sometimes there's just an empty field here. Right now, like, you can see the workers setting up the tents and everything, and then I guess the fair will be here soon. I like that. World events. But okay, back in, oh, someone's got a little baby dragon there. Okay, back in the Shire, and, oh look, Christmas stuff. Oh, I love that 2D effect there. It looks 3D enough at a glance.
Yeah, it does. There's too much power to render for what is a very old game.
Yeah.
So I just did 2D sprites for something round.
Yeah. Although I like the whole reason I'm playing this one today is because I did all the new models and textures and sound effects, the HD patches, and I don't know, I think everything looks a lot better. Less cartoony even, I think.
It looks really good. I'm just saying it makes total sense to have the 2D sprite.
Oh man, look at this. That is a face right there. But it's way more detailed than it used to be. Like, he would have had a JPEG for a face before. Much nicer. And also, I still think the taverns are just so cozy. So cozy.
Except for the skeleton on the floor.
Oh yeah, dead players leave skeletons. So somebody died in here somehow. Maybe they jumped in the fire, because... Yeah, look, fire actually hurts you.
Someone should clean that up.
Though I still... Wait, do the mugs look any better now? Let me... No, that still looks like, something that isn't a frothing beer. Like, that looks like curdled cheese in a mug to me. Maybe that's just because, you know...
That looks like a dwarf's beard that has been cut off and stuffed into a mug and just,
So, okay, the mugs haven't been upgraded, but, I still think overall, man, there's just... Like, I'm literally running around staring at the wall textures and everything, because there's so much more detail on everything, and I love that.
But if you look closer, you can actually see that the wall textures are still 2D.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, like not a lot of the models have been changed. So these character models are definitely new. I'm pretty like they're not like super different, but the models are different than they were before. It's not just texture work and animations. So I think the models are different, but the environment. I don't think the environment is changed because you'd have to change like the bump mapping and everything for that too.
You wouldn't have to. There are HD remakes that just give the illusion of 3D, but it's still a solid object. There is just a clear portion in the solid object.
Maybe, but I don't know. I figure since it's all client side, they probably wouldn't want to change models around much because it's
the point is that wouldn't change the model. It would just change the look of the model, but it is quite a lot of effort.
We'll see. I've Red Bear. I've seen Horde players around here before, and they do attack anyone who's got PvP enabled. But I'm surprised that they just go into the inn and But all right, yeah, sure. Let's see. So what was I? Oh yeah, right. I have a full inventory, so I kind of have to unload that, and I might have things I want to put up on auction, but I wanted to go to Stormwind again and see if it's still literally an ocean of bodies because it's so crowded. So let me feed the griffin some cheese, which I love this. Oh god, I'm stuck in a tree. I love that you get 30 seconds of freeform flight with that, just by feeding it cheese. That is such a very quirky thing to do, but I love it.
Is there fall damage?
There is, so I don't want to go too high, but... And you don't want to go over the walls of the city, because you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I know what happens then from playing Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, like it's just all unloaded. It's weird, like the game only loads this big area, even though there's no zones or, like, it's not like Elder Scrolls.
There is a zone.
Yeah, in Elder Scrolls
there's a well-hidden zone in that tunnel. That tunnel is a loading zone, so the game can load in the town and unload the forest without you noticing.
But what's so weird about that to me is, like, this whole world is not, there's no loading zones, like...
Yes, there is. They are just cleverly disguised, like the river. The river was a loading zone. It unloaded the rendering of enemies.
Yeah. But
on the other side of the river, and loaded the rendering of enemies and NPCs on your side of the river. That is a loading zone, it just doesn't look like one.
Well, what's weird about that is, I mean, you can approach, like I don't know, going into, like, the zone down here, you can literally approach it from anywhere, and it'll load in fine.
The entire river is a loading zone. That is what I'm trying to convey to you.
What I can't wrap my head around is like, well, okay, you can approach from anywhere, but like, well, okay, why can't you approach from anywhere to go to the city, for instance? Like...
Because they didn't make the walls a loading zone, because they expected players to go through the tunnel.
I guess, I'm used to playing games like EverQuest or Final Fantasy, where when you hit a specified loading zone, you get, like, the game... cut to black screen, loading, please wait, right? Like, that's... I understand that.
They didn't want to do that. Instead, what they did is they give you a designated area that you have to pass through, and when you do, the game loads.
Yeah, it's just...
It disguises the loading screen like that.
Yeah, I guess it is still kind of technically... Yeah, it's just... It's seamless, like it's completely seamless, and that is impressive, especially for the time.
Absolutely, it is impressive.
Like literally, modern game, Starfield. All right. How many loading screens do you have to pass through to go to a planet in that, right? But yeah, like modern games can't do that. So
modern games can do that, they just rarely do because people are accustomed to loading zones and don't mind them.
I assume it's much easier to just...
It is a lot easier to just have the loading screen and have the players loaded to a new area like that.
Yeah, I would figure. Oh, doorbell. One sec. Okay, they didn't even want us to like hand take it. They just kind of set the package and left. just delivery. And again, yeah, it just works. Look, loading screens, they just work. Okay.
People accept them, and as long as the vast player base accepts loading screens, why should they go through the effort and the risk of something bugging out if people just accept, okay, I have to go through that door, get a loading screen, and then load into the area.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool when it's seamless, but yeah, I don't really expect it, honestly. Also, quick thing, so this is the Forewarned Mule. This is it's a donation item right here. But I can use it. That's very interesting. So like, I didn't pay for that mule, but if I'm like grouped up with someone who did, anyone can just use those. That's I'm kind of surprised at that, honestly. Like most like in a retail game, they want you to buy that shit, right? So like, no, you can't share. There's no sharing, right? But no, they let you share that stuff. Oh, that's nice, right? That's cool. Very unexpected.
Seriously, Bethesda, their worlds are fun. Their world building is amazing. You activated a rant, just so you know. But the gameplay, the amount of bugs, and the fact that they still when did Skyrim come out? 2010?
Oh god, it's been a while.
Skyrim is old.
It makes you feel old.
In 2010, they didn't seem to have more voice actors than they did when Oblivion came out.
Yeah.
It's the same 10 voice actors voice acting everybody. And yes, that is an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. You can run a quest line like the Civil War quest line and have 5 people have the same voice.
Yeah, here's the thing. So look, now that we have AI voices and everything, honestly, I feel like maybe Elder Scrolls games could benefit from that kind of thing. Considering how, like, cardboard the acting already is, I feel like no one would really notice, and at least you could have more than 5 voices, right?
Fair.
Like, think about it.
But actors unions are trying to make sure that doesn't happen for a very good reason.
Well, I kind of, like, okay, for a big studio like Bethesda, I mean, really, come on, they could hire more voice actors.
Yes.
But for, let's say, an indie developer who maybe their game wouldn't have any voice lines at all otherwise, honestly, like, throw some AI voice in there and, like, it bumps up the production value a little bit, you know?
Does an indie developer work with voice actors unions, though?
Probably not.
Exactly, so they are not bound by those same rules.
Yeah.
Those rules are made for big studios, whether that is film or a video game, just so that the big studios don't replace actors with AI, because that is their livelihood.
Yeah, I can get it. I just think for smaller projects, I think stuff like that would be pretty nice.
Yes, and smaller projects aren't quote-unquote sanctioned for doing so.
Total aside, I just noticed, I assume this is holiday stuff right here. Cole Jingle Pocket over here has a quest. He's a goblin. Also, what's this? Female version, which the female goblins in this game, I don't know. There's like some kind of uncanny valley we're going down, but I'm not sure what it is exactly. That said, you don't really see female goblins at all in most fiction. Like, they just don't exist.
Or they look like the males.
Basically, yeah.
Let's take Oblivion for an example. There are goblin witches.
Huh. I never
But
noticed.
their character model... you've never fought a goblin mage in Oblivion?
I haven't played Oblivion in a long time, so...
Every single magic user amongst goblins in Oblivion is a woman, is a witch.
Ah, okay.
But they look like the men.
Ah, alright.
That is assuming all the other goblins are men, because it doesn't really say either way. It doesn't have to.
Yeah, I guess it's just... I find it strange that the female goblins here are much more sexualized than I would think a goblin would be. Considering the male goblin just... Well, it looks like a goblin, right?
Looks like a very unpleasant caricature. That is all I have to say about that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I have seen those caricatures in history classes.
Alright. But to me they just look angry, which... Quick aside. With the HD stuff here going on, the new stuff, generally I feel like characters look much less angry than in vanilla World of Warcraft. Like, if you look at people's faces and everything, most have a neutral expression. The vanilla, more painted on faces, like everyone looks like they look like you're playing like just Warcraft, right? And they're a unit in your army, right? And they all have their battle face on. Like, that's what everybody looks like vanilla. I don't know if that's just me. But like, yeah, but no, everybody just looks normal faced. Like, they're not angry all the time. I like that. I mean, except, goblins look angry, but they're goblins. Ooh, what's this? A gnome warlock that can turn into a bear. Alright. I just love looking at people's characters sometimes. God, there's too many characters in this. Like, it's actually starting to slow me down. But I do like there's so many people playing here. Oh, gambler protesting. Oh, I forget Furbolg. That's what which they're not supposed to be like werebears, are they? They're just bear humanoids, I think. Like, this game has werewolves, I know that. But I don't think Furbolgs are werebears, right? I don't think. I'm not sure about the lore of World of Warcraft, I'll be honest.
Honestly, a furbolg doesn't just look like there's bear in there, it looks like there's maybe other predatory animals in there too.
Sorry, he's kind of facing a pillar here, but like, I just see a bear. I see a humanoid bear is all I get out of that. Like, I don't know. I guess the arms are kind of gorilla-like, but...
Amongst other things, yes.
But I just see Bear Man. But why? Well, I was about to say, why can't we have playable Furbolg? But like, well, I guess you can...
Turn into one.
Yeah. I know in retail World of Warcraft, they have all kinds of like beastly races, right? You can be a panda. There's panda people from Fantasy Panda Land. I still don't know how to feel about, like, look, I've only played, I played a little Warcraft 2 and 3 back in the day. I don't remember anything about pandas, okay? Like,
currently it's a faraway land with panda people. It's fantasy, don't question it.
Mainly it's just like, okay, the general vibe of Warcraft to me is very... I don't know, like general fantasy, orcs versus humans kind of thing, right? Like, that's the general vibe of it. Things like cute panda people, kung fuing. Oh look, there's one right there. I guess it's illusion thing here. But like, to me, that does not fit aesthetically with anything here, right? Like, that completely conflicts, right? A panda in a kung fu suit. Like, to me, that just doesn't match, right?
Creature from a faraway land.
I guess it's just I feel like it sort of ruins the otherwise very consistent aesthetic of the game. You know? Like, otherwise it's pretty consistent. It's not like, this isn't like Final Fantasy XIV where, you know, some people are like medieval fantasy and others are riding around on motorcycles and shit. Like, it's not quite that. I mean, I don't doubt that the areas look cool and all that. I don't doubt. It's just, I guess when it comes to any game, I feel like consistency is important, right?
At some point in MMO becomes so massive, you have to think about that. That lore becomes less and less important, and you're just trying to give your players what they want.
Yeah, and
And if a significant portion of players, for example in a poll, said, yes, we would like to play panda people.
I guess I'm not a fan of that. I prefer things to stay consistent. Like, aesthetically, I liked FF14 up until things started just, you know, until you got, like, Japanese schoolgirl costumes in a game that doesn't have that in the aesthetics anywhere, right? Like, that just sort of reminds me I'm playing a dumb video game instead of immersing myself in this otherwise consistent fantasy world.
See? And this is why I don't play MMOs. Because with MMOs you just have to expect them to evolve into that as the player base grows. I like my games to stay consistent as well.
Yeah.
That's why I play Morrowind. That's why I play Monster Hunter. That's why I play games that have a finished aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, to be blunt, that's why I like stuff like this, because, okay, to be fair, they're not letting you play panda people and all that. That's just a cosmetic illusion thing. Okay, whatever, right? But, like, I like these classic servers because more or less they do that. They stick to a certain era and mostly stay consistent. And I like that. But yeah, I don't deny, like, again, even with Final Fantasy, some of the dumb shit in Final Fantasy XIV as it went along, it looked cool, right? I had the motorcycle. I had the flying motorcycle. It literally flies. And it was dumb, but it was cool, right? I did it.
Yeah, and other people might find the pandas cool.
Yeah. I'd still say, like, even then, I prefer consistency. I'll miss out, but, like, I prefer consistency. I guess this is a good compromise, what they do here, though. Like, no, there's no panda land, there's no panda people, but you can get a cosmetic.
You can ride around on a reindeer.
It's like, there's cosmetics you can use if you want, but you're not going in the deep end, I guess, is the thing. That is an okay compromise to me.
The thing is, what I don't understand with that reasoning is, you say the aesthetics don't fit, but I'm okay with people getting an aesthetic skin to put over themselves to look like the aesthetic that I don't think fits.
Yeah, I don't like it. I prefer it to not be. But, like, there was one panda guy running around because he got the cosmetic. You know, that's whatever. You can kind of ignore that. You can't ignore it if there's now Panda Land and there's just people that is just their character running around. That's harder to ignore, you know? There's a bit of a brain filter going on if it's only like one or two people running around like that. So yeah, that's my logic, really, you know? That said, I don't know, like, the baseline aesthetic for World of Warcraft, you know, now that it doesn't look so cartoony as it did before, I kind of like it. It's consistent. It's solid. I actually think with the patches, I think it's more consistent than it was with just vanilla, actually, which is weird, but overall things fall in line more now.
I mean, it makes total sense that vanilla would look a little patchworky. If you have, let's say, old textures from a design team that half of which has since left the company. And there were new people that were brought onto the design team that made new textures for new things. But why remake the old textures? They still work.
Well, I don't think it's that. It's more that the original stuff, it felt inconsistent in quality. Like, certain characters just had more detail to them than others, and like certain races looked more stylized, cartoony than others, and that was kind of the disconnect. Like with this, everyone sort of has the same level of cartooniness, I want to say. Like, even the gnome. The gnome was super cartoony before.
The gnome's eyes are still super cartoony.
But not... Those eyes were, like, way bigger vanilla, and, like, the proportions were much stubbier, too. Like, it's less cartoony than it was before. That's what I mean. Some races are a little more, some a little less, but they all fall more into a midline now. Also, yes, that gnome does not look amused at all. But it's not as bad as EverQuest. Like, EverQuest, when you want to talk about old and new models and textures and all that, like, EverQuest released in 1999, literally, they never updated anything, but they just kept adding, like, EverQuest still gets expansion packs with new places and stuff. They just keep adding and making new models, but they never touch up the old ones. So you can go between one zone where it looks like you're playing Minecraft in 1999, and then you go a zone over and it's suddenly modern models and environments, and sometimes you'll have a modern player model in an area from 1999, and it looks so mismatched, right?
Yeah.
Like, literally, in some of the zones in EverQuest, like in the newer ones, the fire is, like, it's particle like a modern game, right? It's an actual physical fire effect. In the older zones, fire is literally a 2D animated GIF with 2 frames of animation, and then another one so it looks 3D if you look at it at the right angle. And that's a torch, right? But those things are both in the same game. And that looks horrible. Like, it looks bad. There's no way around it. I don't think I don't think it has that problem, or has ever had that problem.
I think it has it a little bit, but not to the same extent. Like, for example, take the wall in the upper right corner here. That is clearly a flat painted texture.
Yeah.
If you look at the ground, that is less flat in how it's made. Of course, if you turn it...
It's not totally flat, actually. Yeah, it's got a little curve to it.
And they try to match the curves with the lines in the tile.
Yeah.
So there is a little more modeling going on this floor.
Yeah, but these were all made at the same time, so it's not like it's a difference of old and new. I don't know, I just don't... Like, because on this server they have some stuff, like the panda guy, right? That's a later model, but even though that came later, right? Like, it doesn't... Aesthetically, it looks out of place to me, but in terms of technicals, models, it doesn't...
I'll be honest, it doesn't look more out of place to me than any of the other main character models.
Aesthetically, but I mean on a technical level, right? Like, I think it has about probably the same poly count as everyone else. Like, it visually looks, it doesn't look like it comes from a different time period than the rest of the models, right?
Yep, and on one hand, that is something that people like about World of Warcraft, but it's also something that people make fun of about World of Warcraft. That you can look at the game and it looks like it's from the early 2000s or even the 90s. Because they went for more visual consistency, less updating old visuals.
Though they did, like, so, like, the HD patch that I'm using right now, like, these are, like, so basically it's forcing this client to use the models and stuff that came out, like, I think it was, like, what, 4 expansions in? So at some point they did redo everything a little bit.
It still visually very much reads World of Warcraft.
It's stylized.
And if you tried to modernize all of these textures and all of these models to the same level of, let's say, Final Fantasy XIV, it would not visually read World of Warcraft anymore.
No, it'd be something you'd have to make World of Warcraft 2. That's what EverQuest, literally, that's what EverQuest did. Instead of trying to update EverQuest, at a certain point, they just released EverQuest 2 with a totally different engine. They just gave up on that idea. But no, like, I think this, the thing is, though, their original vanilla models that this server loads with normally, they don't look that much different, but they are, like, much lower poly count, they're lower texture detail, like, it's just, you can tell they're older and not quite as realized, but yeah, like,
I am not arguing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they still kept the
feel.
old-fashioned aesthetic.
Yeah, like, the feel is the same. It's more detailed, but the feel... Then again, I do want to say, like, compared to what I saw originally, I don't think these models look as cartoony as they used to. Like, they still look cartoony, but if there's a scale, right? Like the furry scale, right? Like, it was 90% cartoon before, and now we're more like 70%, I want to say. That's what I mean. And ooh, Gambler, I'm not gonna leave this general area for a bit. I'm looking at people's characters and stuff, and does this man have his shirt just says wow. His shirt just says wow.
This is why I say the panda doesn't look out of place, because you have a knight with a bright pink helmet and a tunic that says World of Warcraft. You cannot tell me that the panda breaks immersion more than this guy.
I guess. I don't know.
These are all main characters in a cutscene.
Ooh.
You know what I mean, right?
Well, yeah. Also, okay, there's just the full-on bear. Oh, look at, oh my god, that bear's dancing. Okay. My immersion.
I would wager that 95% of people don't play WoW for the immersion.
Some people get really in. I know people love the lore and story and all that. They care about
You
that.
can love the lore and story and care about it and still not play the actual game for the immersion.
Alright, I guess I was playing it more as a generic fantasy, immerse myself kind of game, but...
Yeah, and I will just stand by my statement.
The dances.
This is an MMO. MMOs are never gonna focus on the immersion over adding new features for the players to sink money into.
Oh yeah, but I just think, like, okay, I guess... To me, there's a little bit of a division in my brain between, okay, letting players have their fun, right? You can kind of, in your brain, filter out, at least I can, you can kind of filter players that are just doing things, right? It's more like if the game world itself is breaking immersion, that's a little different to me.
And how does a faraway land with a totally different culture break the immersion for you?
I guess mostly that, well, okay, first off, let's talk about that. Where is Panda Land anyway? Because, see, here's the thing. Let me pop open the map real quick. So even in the normal Warcraft video games, like that came before this, what you see here is it. This is the world. So, like, there's no Panda Land here.
Do they guarantee that this side, the right, joins up with the left?
It's assumed. I mean, like, this is the world, right?
It's not stated. This could be the known world.
I guess. Okay, it's a new continent. Wait, I guess here's the thing, right? Like, my problem is that it's fairly established in the older games, because this does follow that, like, the world is established, what is and what isn't, and, well, now you're just...
You can easily explain it away. The continent was surrounded by storms. It was never discovered by the people of the known world before.
I guess it's...
How long do you think it took us to find Australia?
Yeah. Okay, this is a problem, and look, games I love do this. This is a problem I have with a lot of games and MMOs in particular is when you just say, like, okay, let's take EverQuest, which I love, and even in classic EverQuest, okay, the first expansion, Ruins of Kunark, it adds a whole continent that, okay, no one knew it was there, full of sentient lizard people, which is the new race, and like, there's a whole empire there, or was, and it's hard to believe that no one knew that was there in a land where you, like, wizards can rip a hole in reality and go to other dimensions, right? Like...
Okay, let me explain that to you. Very easy to understand. With a real-world example. We never sailed west, because even though people knew the world was a sphere, they assumed that there was just water between the westernmost part of Europe and the easternmost part of India. It wasn't worth it, the journey was too long, we couldn't take enough food to make the journey. Therefore, we never traveled there. Columbus only wanted to travel around the world because he miscalculated. And he said, no, it's actually way closer than these other mathematicians say. We can make the journey. Otherwise, that new continent, actually 2 new continents, wouldn't have been discovered for another couple hundred years until the first satellites would have gone up. So why would you teleport way south into the sea if you assume that there's just ocean there?
I don't know, I guess.
Why would you teleport to a place that you assume just has salt water?
Alright, I don't know. I feel like even, especially in a fantasy context, though, it's a little harder to explain.
No, I just explained it to you.
Well, yeah, but...
They didn't think there was something there, so they never went there.
But it's like there's so many ways that wizards in, like, a game like EverQuest could... divines see what's out there, you know? Like, there's literally spells to, like, zoom and enhance and...
why would they try that beyond a certain point?
Because there might be stuff out there. Like, come on.
Yeah, there might be, but you can also just magically make stuff, so why do you have a pressure to look for stuff?
I guess. And also, oh god, Red Bear, like... Yeah, the expansion, Mists of Pandaria. The mist is why you can't find it. Yeah. I mean, okay, that one... I could kinda buy that, right? But... there might be oil there.
You can magically conjure up oil!
Okay, well, so... maybe it's a little harder in, like, in Final Fantasy XIV, for instance, where they keep adding more races and stuff. That one's a little harder, because in that game, the world is mapped out. It's just... the game tells you constantly that, oh, there's a whole land to the far east or the far west with all these different cultures and things, but they literally just don't exist here, even though people can freely travel anywhere. And it's like the bunny people, right? Like, they were there the whole time. Why didn't you see any?
At some point, you just need to add a new parallel dimension.
Which FF14 did that too.
Way easier.
They added a parallel dimension in that one, but no, for the normal game, it's just like the bunny people, the big cat people, the dragon people. No, they were all there the whole time. It's just they were so so reclusive before that they didn't venture out, so you never saw them before. But like, come on now, right? You can't tell me you wouldn't see a single one. That's just like, they didn't exist. They didn't exist, right? And now they do. And that's, for me, that's a little more immersion breaking than we found a new continent or whatever, right? I can accept in EverQuest when they're like, in the Luklin expansion, hey, that moon up there, it's a whole other planet. There's cat people living up there. I can accept that, right? But if you just say they were here the whole time, that's harder to buy.
Yeah, so the panda people were on a whole different continent, evolved differently from the rest of the world. That's why they look like panda people.
Yeah. So, okay, it is a little less immersion breaking. I don't like the aesthetic, but it's less immersion breaking than just saying they were here the whole time.
Exactly.
All right? Which I still can't believe. Like, so okay, real quick, Final Fantasy XI never added more races, right? And it's because they didn't want to do that whole "they were here the whole time" thing, you know? 14 has no problem doing that. They just keep adding more races even when it doesn't make sense. Also the portals. Well, I do know there's like some kind of portal stuff going on, and there's like what you would call alien races in World of Warcraft, right? Like I kind of, the Warcraft games kind of go into that a little bit. I remember some of that from like Warcraft 3. I still like the Warcraft, like I played Warcraft 2, right? It was just orcs versus humans. It was simple, I liked it. You know, it was very easy to wrap your head around and to get into. I kind of miss that. But it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. I still, overall, and oh my god, this person wearing a diving suit? Now, okay, that is less immersion breaking to me than the panda, though, because that... Okay, gnomes. The wife has given me such a look. But here's why. Wait, ignore wait, what about elves? What about them? What about elves?
They apparently were in Warcraft 2.
They were, but they weren't like they weren't a whole playable faction though. I think in Warcraft 3 they were. But oh yeah, there you go, Draenei. It's a spaceship. But okay, like when I say like the diving suit is less immersion breaking, it's because of gnomes. Oh, he's giving me the look again. But okay, like, all right. So I want to go to a certain part of the city though. All right. So like, the reason why that doesn't break my immersion is because. Oh no, she's doing it again. But let me actually go here and show it. This is important. So, okay, like you have the dwarf/gnome district of Stormwind, right? So from the beginning they established that there is technological stuff in the game. Like gnomes, specifically gnomes though. They have uncovered the arts of engineering, which actually that's not so different than D&D, EverQuest. No, for some reason, gnomes are always pegged as the technologically advanced race, even in a fantasy setting like that.
Yeah, because they are small and they have to compensate for that.
But so are dwarves. And
yeah, and dwarves make good weapons. Dwarves are always the blacksmiths.
Well, dwarves are always jacked as fuck.
That too. Dwarves are strong. Gnomes are small and nimble.
True.
They have to compensate for that.
I guess, yeah. Like here in the dwarf district, like, okay, yeah, the dwarves have like the smithing stuff going on. But the contraptions, that's usually like, I think this is just dwarf tech right here. But yeah, you go over here and like, here's the gnome section of town. And like, okay, you have like gadget stuff going on here. There's a literal train in here. This is a train station.
Yeah, but you lose me with the dive suit because the dive suit needs polymer materials.
I guess you could say there's magic involved, since gnomes also do magic.
You could say there's magic involved with the panda people.
Well, no doubt on that one. That's like no doubt, but
like, if you can't explain one thing away, then you can usually also explain the other thing away with the same reasoning.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just aesthetically, panda people don't really do anything for me, but yeah. Well, yeah, like the headpiece, yeah, you just need metal, I guess, right? The suit, who knows what the suit's made out of?
The suit looked like a normal, modern-day dive suit.
It could be some fantastic monster spider thread, right? That's very durable and flexible.
Yeah, and theoretically you could also just, if you didn't have the separate continent of Pandaria, say that some weird curse happened and turned a part of the human population into panda people.
I mean, that's kind of in a different way. That's kind of what FF14 did with. I think that's the origin of the Tunberries in that game. Is that's like the little Lalafell that were cursed into like looking like Tunberries. Like that's the Tunberry origin in that game. Look at this. It's just a straight up train here. But see, I can accept that even because okay, like. At least they do a good job to explain all this tech stuff going on here, and there's also still magic involved. I can get behind it.
And they do a good job explaining the panda people.
Now what I can't get is how, if you look at the map, we're going east right now, right? Like this train is going hard east with no diversions. And I think we arrive at the station facing east as well. And oh my god, this thing is... Look, why does it go under... Okay, we're going underwater right now. That's a dinosaur. But here's the thing. Where this train goes, it goes from here, Stormwind, and we're going east, right? It goes up here to Ironforge. That is, like, straight north.
I can tell you how that is explainable. Let's say you have a normal compass. Like, you actually orient yourself with a compass. There's all kinds of technology. Who's to say there isn't some kind of magnetic field that messes with your compass?
I guess, maybe. If we assume that the mini-map is my compass, which I guess it does have a, north. Okay, yeah, maybe that's... Although, why would we pass under an ocean? That looked like an ocean. There's no water here. Like, there's no water between these two places, right?
Underwater caverns. Also, you didn't really pass through an ocean, you didn't go far enough for that.
True.
You could have just passed under a lake.
True, there is like some like small lakes and stuff. I can buy that. It's just a little weird how it just goes east on the mini-map, but... Yeah.
Magnetics that mess with your compass.
But yeah, here we go. Ironforge, which... I know Red Bear prefers Ironforge to Stormwind. I think Stormwind looks more classic fantasy, and I like it more. But I will admit, this is laid out very handily, right? Like, everything is in a nice circle that's interconnected, so I guess it's really easy to physically get around.
I wager that Bethesda might have done some copying of homework there.
What?
I look at this, I see the Imperial City.
Oh yeah, that is kind of the layout of the Imperial City.
Like you have
like
a
central...
way to the center from almost every district.
Yeah, but it's also divided in like circles around. I mean...
I see the Imperial City there. And I take it this is older. Like this area is older than Oblivion.
I'm trying to think of that sort of circular design like this. And other than Oblivion, and here in Ironforge, like, EverQuest doesn't have anything like that. I can't think of any other, like, games that have that particular layout of cities. Yeah, it's a very Imperial City.
Someone copied someone's homework.
Oh, it's Christmas here, too. I like this mount right here. That's like a historically accurate dinosaur with the feathers going on, I guess.
Looks more like a chocobo.
I think
looks more like a green chocobo.
I would think the ostrich, like there's literally like ostriches in this game. I think those are a little... I mean, an ostrich is basically a chocobo if you think about it. But it's got too big of wings, I think. Like, oh, that's a mechanical ostrich right there. Oh, they went away from me though. Which I don't know. I think the mounts here, they're not too outlandish. I can understand them at least. Like even like the Robo Bird mount. I can kinda understand it. It fits in. Look, Final Fantasy games get a little too nuts with the mounts. Oh, that's a robot chicken. it's a very, like, very fluid robot, I have to say. Like, it feels too dynamic in its motions, I think. Though I like it's weirdly hypnotic. Yeah, like, why do people have, like, big flying bird mounts when there's no flying in the game? Here, anyway. Which also I'm not a fan of, I know I love that 30 seconds of free flight Griffin, you know, in that one town, but that's a one-off, right? I'm not a fan of free flying in games like this. Yeah, okay, I like City of Heroes and you can fly, but that makes sense, and the game is built from the ground up for flying heroes, right? But in this, like, the game wasn't designed with flying in mind, and I know they changed that some later, but you miss out on a lot when you just kind of fly over everything. Some of the gameplay of games like this, too, is, like, physically getting from point A to point B is actually... that's a challenge in and of itself, and if you can just fly over everything, well, you're kind of circumventing gameplay there, in a way.
Trying to find out when Ironforge was added to the game.
At launch, this is a launch, this
Okay.
is vanilla, purely, so when World of Warcraft came out.
So Bethesda definitely copied... I forgot the name of the studio that made World of Warcraft. Don't come for me. Blizzard.
Oh. I guess this game is pretty old. It's, for me, it's hard to think. I mean, I guess, yeah, WoW is quite, you know, it's been around for a while, but as someone that started with EverQuest, which was 1999, you know, like, it's hard to think of WoW as also being kind of a granddaddy MMO at this point.
2 years before Oblivion.
Huh.
So I'm not sure.
I mean, it is an efficient design, I'll say that.
I am not sure whether the Imperial City was a thing in either Daggerfall or Arena.
In both games, you, well, Daggerfall only takes place in that area.
Yeah.
In Arena, the Imperial Province is shown, but you can't go there. So it's unclear what the city would look like.
Shown as in a map?
I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. Like, you can see a very simple, like, province, but I don't think there's detail to it. I don't think the Imperial City was portrayed until Oblivion. So I do like, though, how the middle of Ironforge is just a giant, like, lava-flowing forge. I do like that. I feel like this can't be safe, but, you know, like, I feel like someone's gonna die with, like, hot magma just splashing down like this right next to everyone. That's gotta be a safety hazard. How close can you get to it? Oh my god, okay, yeah, I can... Okay, no, you can totally just, you know, melt in the lava. Okay, yeah, so that's a safety hazard. Gotta get some guardrails up there. I mean, look, if we're talking safety hazards in these fantasy games, I mean, you know, the Wood Elf City in EverQuest, just a city up in the trees with absolutely no rails on it.
Okay, no, I can see evidence that they were planning on doing a circular map as early as Arena.
I don't remember. What does it look like there?
You see the circular trench around it. You see the one entry point. They had an idea for a circular city. Yeah,
like they're just using the general castle icon, but the actual layout is... Yeah, that looks like that's the layout in Oblivion.
It looks in Oblivion.
Yeah. So, wow.
I did not think that they had that idea as early as Arena.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to think, because a lot of the franchises that I love, they did not have a plan, and they kind of made things up as they went along. I just assume, right? Interesting that they actually put a little thought there. Oh, okay, so alright, the lava here is just damage, but if you fall into that, that's just death. Okay.
Makes sense.
I still feel like they're like probably a little too close to all this stuff, I feel like.
Listen. Icelandic people, when they have a volcano eruption, will frequently run across lava to redirect it with water.
Huh.
Lava is not nearly as dangerous as we thought when we were kids.
But the floor.
You can literally see videos of people working with molten metal that bash their hand through the molten metal without any burns. That's because the moisture on their skin evaporates and creates a cushion of steam between their skin and the molten metal.
I guess it's okay, so like in video games, whenever you see like a volcano lava level where you're like, oh, you gotta jump across the platforms right over the lava, I always just assumed that realistically, being that close, the heat would kill you. I assume.
Long term it would, but especially humans, but pretty much anything mammalian with porous skin like ours is exceptionally good at thermoregulating itself. That is why we conquered everything from way close to the poles to the equator. Because the human body is exceptional at thermoregulating itself.
Alright, fair. And also I'm just, since I need to get back to Darkshire, I can just sit back and ride the automated griffin back there, which I think this really does. You get to see that the world is seamless and that there's no loading screens, and I think they really wanted to show that off with these rides.
You are passing through the loading screen. They are just
crazy.
They are just not letting you see that you have a loading screen.
I feel like sometimes I'm the old man about it, like being amazed by simple things. But modern games still have loading screens, but like, it's so awe-inspiring to me when where am I in the, like, look at this, I'm just going through areas you can't physically go through normally, and there's no, like, it's all just like, you don't see the loading happening. Like,
yeah, because this entire scripted sequence is the loading. Why do you think you don't see a single mob?
No, you can. You can and do see mobs, and you see other players too. It's just right now this is all like impassable normally. There wouldn't be a reason for mobs to be here normally. But I've seen them. I've seen mobs before in certain places where they should be. I know I have. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Like, okay, this area players can normally get to. I might just be too high up though, is the thing. This game doesn't have a huge render distance.
Or this is a scripted flight sequence that works as your loading screen, and it doesn't actually render in any mobs until you arrive where you're supposed to arrive.
I see, now I'm really like looking for it, and it's like, I don't know, I guess it could work both ways, right? Like, I might be too high up because the render distance is pretty short. Or, it could be...
You're not that high up, though.
Yeah, but, like, you're not normally supposed to be off ground level is the thing, so...
Yeah, but render distance is usually 360 degrees. This is simply a loading screen that doesn't look like a loading screen.
I guess... I mean, I'm like... I'm everywhere I'm seeing things, I'm looking like, oh, is there any little people down there? Okay, so far I don't see anyone.
The thing is, this isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that them disguising the loading screen in this manner is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it is technically a lot more easier to do it this way.
Yeah.
Than to physically bring you through the game.
True. I mean, I assume we are physically actually going through all these areas, it's just not like...
Not necessarily. It might just teleport your actual character model from A to B and just tell you, as you go through the flight sequence, hey, you are here. But they know that because you are in this second of the flight sequence.
Also, why the hell did I go, like, I'm on an automated route here. Like, yeah, okay.
Your griffin needed food. But there's not a single guard on the walls.
No, like, so this area is incredibly, like, the server's got like 10,000 people on it. Like, you would normally see people everywhere. This is the newbie zone, basically. I mean, now I'm a little too high up, but like...
But you weren't.
No, so... Okay, so yeah, I want to say that I'm still physically here, but I'm not loading everything like I should. Like, this is basically a partial load, I guess, right? Like...
Yeah, probably.
Like the minimum. And I love how the environment just instantly changes when I cross over that river, and now, like...
That river is a loading zone, I told you.
Well, yeah, but it's just that you go from this nice, bright, sunny forest to, you know, the undead, cursed forest.
Yes. The weather changes as you load into the new area.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's mighty impressive, though, how...
It is impressive how seamless they did it.
Yeah. Also, and I said it before, EverQuest 2, though, it also had these, like, griffin travel point things. But the griffins in EverQuest 2, they were completely stiff. Like, the only part that animated was the wings, and otherwise it looked like one of those, like, carousel pony things on a rod. EverQuest 2 came out after, or no, it came out at the same time, but it had way nicer looking graphics. They made it to look better, right? And yet they couldn't animate the griffins properly. Okay, so see, I popped in, and okay, yeah, now things just start loading in now. Okay, yeah, so I guess you're it's like a partial load, I guess. Now see, look, I can see other people, like, flying off here, so
yes,
they are... So physically, I think you are actually on the griffin riding out there.
I wonder if you see people when you look up from an area. Because there's two ways they could do this.
Ooh.
They could, quote-unquote physically, they could move your player model, your sprite, through all of these areas. Or they could give you a takeoff and landing animation and just teleport your character model from one point to the other, and the rest of it is a scripted sequence.
True. It's kind of like, look, I know it, as someone who loves immersion, it can be a little breaking to think about how the sausage is made, so to speak.
And the thing is, I think the scripted sequence, that is basically just a cutscene, would be less resource intensive.
Yeah, I guess that one it's really hard to know, though, you know?
Okay, so you can actually see them.
Oh yeah, I have. Like, when I'm out in the woods, every now and then I'll see, like, a griffin guy just go over me. So, like, but if you're on the griffin, you don't see the people on the ground. So I assume when you're on the griffin, because you're going so fast through the areas...
It would... Like, especially you have to think about old PCs.
Yeah.
It would melt old PCs to load in all the mobs.
Yeah, so I assume to keep things light, you're probably just... because you can't interact with anything. So I assume the server is just partially loading things for you, and so you can just zip through. But you're still you are actually there and moving. Okay, here's a fun thing to think about. In Final Fantasy XI, right, they have airships and boats, and for both of those, the way that game does it, because it has loading screens and stuff, but you physically travel, it's like you get on an airship in Juneau, and so when the airship takes off and people can see it, your character is just despawned, you're in the cutscene, you're like loaded into the next zone. And the next zone is on the airship, and you get to see, like, you're riding over the landscape and everything, but it is a simplified version of the landscape. You're not even moving, actually. Like, I think the way they do that is, the airship you're on is a static object, and it is not moving, but, like, the landscape that you're flying over, I think it's basically like kind of like on a treadmill, like, scrolling past you. I would assume that's how they do that. I would assume.
Very likely.
But the thing is, despite that, like, for people in town, you can see the airship with the players coming and going. It gives the illusion that, like, this is a shared world, you know, that you're experiencing this, right? And it does it well enough. When you're on the airship, you see the land going by, you can look at the landmarks, but it's an optical illusion, but it works, right? It feels immersive enough. That's what a lot of games do, and it's fine. In FF14, they just did away with all that and said you talk to NPC and it teleports you to the next place. They just didn't bother. But even if it's only an optical illusion, I like this kind of thing in my games, you know?
I didn't say it was a bad thing. I actually really like when games do this.
Yeah, it's just with a lot of modern games, because you tend to think about modern games being building on what came before, right? Do it better. But modern games, a lot of them, especially with these MMOs, travel? Oh no, you just teleport instantly now, right?
I can tell you one reason why. Because in World of Warcraft, if you just load in a simplified part of the map, that doesn't look that much worse than the actual game.
Yeah.
You tried the same with a modern MMO.
Oh yeah, because
have you ever seen an unrendered dragon in Skyrim? Because that can happen, where the dragon only partially loaded in due to a bug. They look so bad. Ask me how I know that. I was attacked by multiple unrendered dragons in my Skyrim career.
Well, also, Red Bear. Honestly, EverQuest kind of does a bit of that too, but like, honestly, that would make me angry. Like, if you have this, right, where you have this big seamless world you can travel around, like with the griffins and everything. If you have that, and then at some point they just take it away and say, "Oh, here's a teleport room," that would kind of make me angry. I gotta be honest.
Justifiably so.
Like. Yeah, again, EverQuest kind of did it too, though. Like, I don't even think the boats work in EverQuest anymore. But like, they got rid of the flight paths even. Like, not just like the actual, because this game has actual boats and stuff. But like, even the griffins, no more.
No, I think what Red Bear is saying is they just did away with the ships between the continents, but they kept the griffins.
Oh, okay. So the flight paths are they're still there, right? Okay. Because if they took that out, like, man, the griffins aren't just about traveling faster. You saw how they're on a very cinematic path, right? Like, they want you to really take things in.
Yeah, but the reason why newer MMOs don't do that is because if they only loaded in the simplified texture, it would look horrible.
Yeah, because...
And not everybody has a PC strong enough to handle it.
Fair. Oh, Silver is mighty hungry. Oh, I keep feeding him. Where does it go?
Goes to 3:30 p.m.
Huh. The thing is, I still wanted to take a quick look at Star Wars Galaxies too before we concluded.
Then you take a break, feed the cat, and then start Star Wars Galaxies.
All right, yeah. Then I can rant about how that was ruined twice. But all right, okay. Give me a sec. Let me feed the cat, and then we'll reevaluate, see what we want to do. And we went on a bit of a nerd tangent. So, one sec. Quick BRB. Alright, I'm back. The cat is just munching away on his food. that lovable bottomless pit. Okay, so they added, okay, more flight paths. I mean, that's good. It's just the boats and stuff is that's a little disappointing, you know? That's a little disappointing. But at least there's still something. Again, a lot of modern games just don't even, they don't even try to make you feel immersed. Alright, so, well, let's see, I mean, before we kind of move on, I do have a lot of quests I want to turn in, so let me do that real quick. There's rewards to be had.
Can I help you?
Alright, the zombie juice. Okay, so he wants rot blossoms. Okay, you can find them in the skulls of skeletal horrors and fiends. Great. That goes with another quest. I mean, look, I will say this though, the boat in World of Warcraft here, it does still kind of teleport you a little bit. Like you have to wait for the boat, and you have to get on the boat. But once the boat sets sail, it only goes out a little bit, and then you load into the other area, and then you dock there, right? Like it's a very shortened process, but it's something, right? Like, look, in EverQuest, when you get on a boat in EverQuest, you physically have to sail across the ocean, and it takes like 20 minutes, right? Now, see, I can understand. Okay, look, I like it. I think that's immersive. I enjoy it. But I could understand maybe, you know, that maybe that's a little too much, right? For some people. Fair enough, right? But like, you gotta have something, you know? Don't just make it a teleport. If you're not a wizard, you're not teleporting.
What can I do for you?
Ooh, what's this? Seasoned wolf kebabs. Funny thing is, I already have that recipe, but I think I bought it. I think I bought the recipe off the auction. Okay, so, yeah, I can make gooey spider cakes now. Oh, right, my inventory's full. Hold up. Hold up.
You need something?
Ooh, I could get more melon juice. It's 4 silver, 50 copper. Oh, I ain't made out of money, but, well, I mean, it's a good investment, right? I'm a paladin, I use MP. Ooh, nice. Yeah, again, I appreciate no, like, just instant warping around, but I do understand that for some people, it might be a bit much. I'm understanding of that, at least. Alright, so let's see. I can at least accept quest now.
Need help?
Here we go. Get my reward. Oh, and I have to return to Jitters. Right, the guy back at the cemetery.
Well met.
But yeah, if I want the recipe for seasoned wolf kebab, and I guess I could sell it, or maybe give it to my other character, right? So they want 10 lean wolf flanks. And Stormwind seasoning herbs. Do they tell you where to... Well, okay, you just have to go to Stormwind for the herbs, but, I mean, I can do that one.
Be careful.
It's extra EXP, I guess.
Hello.
Alright, now, I can't... I'm hoping I can't sell off... Yeah, I can't sell off my quest items. That's good. I mean, maybe this recipe is worth something? Maybe? I'll hold on to it. Okay, let's see. I mean, a silk cloth, that's for the next tier of bandages. So I would want to hold on to that. Okay. And I got a new recipe, so let me just pop that on in. I will probably never craft that, but I appreciate having it all the same. Oh, I no longer get anything from linen, so that can.
Looking for something
just go.
specific?
But this one, the silk cloth, I mean, yeah, that's the next tier of bandage. Then again, I'm a little ways off from that, and it is 4 silver and 50 coppers. And I need money right now for my spells, so, yeah.
Have a good one.
And yeah, I know some of the ingredients you can just accidentally sell off. Like the lean wolf flank, that's for this next quest, I believe, right? Where is it? Seasoned wolf kebabs. Yeah. So that I want to hold on to. And put it up here. Alright, and then there's the bunch of items I gotta turn in. That's over here. I don't have a tailor, I do not. When it comes to the enchanting stuff, I just break things that I find. Like, since I dungeon a lot, right? I like to do dungeons. There's lots of green loot, so I just break it down. And I like finding my gear too. Finding equipment to wear is always fun.
Light bless you.
Okay, here we go. I got a Totem of Infliction. I like the look of it. But other than the looks, right? Other than the appearance, it's 50 armor, and it's not really something that would benefit me as a healer. It doesn't really benefit me. As a tank, it also really doesn't benefit me. So I get the appearance, and then it gets sold off.
Good day to you.
Ooh, nice. It's 11 silver. I'll take it.
See you around.
Alright, so I think that's all the... Well, okay, there's the hiss... Oh, when I was in Stormwind, I should have... well, I didn't stop in Stormwind for a while, but... Yeah, I should have gone to the library. Well, I can do it another time. I guess I'm in a tavern, so that's a good place to leave it off on. The old comfy cozy tavern. So, here's my thoughts of the day with World of Warcraft and TurtleWoW. I gotta be honest, yeah, with the HD patches kind of bumping things up, and also, I think the important thing is it makes the overall feel of the game much more consistent. Because I feel like the vanilla graphics and sound effects, I feel like a lot of it is just wildly inconsistent. Like, depending on what kind of character you're playing, you know, where you are, what you're doing, things don't feel consistent. And I know a lot of people seem to... Ooh, one sec. Doorbell. One sec. Alright, I'm back. It was just another delivery. Okay. But yeah, I guess the final thoughts before I switch over to Star Wars. You know, get angry about Star Wars.
So you know now, 2 more packages coming.
Ooh.
Our coffee thing.
Okay.
And
I guess different deliverers each time.
yeah, which is funny because it's all from Amazon.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Don't they have like that big Amazon truck that goes around? You'd think it'd all just be in there. All right. So okay. Yeah. For the Star Wars stuff, final thoughts on this is I think the HD patches are really helping me to get into the visuals and also. I'll have to play the game a little bit more sometime. And try different characters out too. Although, I gotta be honest, my paladin here is serving me well. Like, fighting enemies 5 levels over me feels pretty good. It's also, I like being a tank or healer or whatever in a party. That's a nice bonus. But yeah, just, you know, feels good. I gotta play more. But anyway, let's get out of the TurtleWoW. I'll change the Twitch info out, and let's get mad about a different franchise. All right.